The internet can totally see me now, apparently. Hey everyone. Nice to have you here. Just checking out if everything's alright. Yeah, looks nice. Cool. Hey everybody. Welcome aboard. I am now live from the end of the world. And yes, I am not at my usual space, and you will hear planes passing by like this one right now, because this is a corridor of planes. But hopefully things will be okay, and the sound and everything will be good. Nice to have everybody here. We are on the Shortwave radio show. This is a show about radio. We're here every Fridays at 2000 hours Universal Time. And of course, we're here to entertain and have fun. After pretty big shows last week. I mean, Friday was 3 hours and 30 minutes. Saturday, we went on for 4 hours and 40 minutes. I mean, whoa, that was a lot of time for the radio shows. It was a lot of fun. So I'm here in my backyard. So you see, I'm a little kind of, the backyard balcony is not very big. But I prefer it because it's quiet compared to the front balcony. Who knows, maybe next week if temperature permits, we'll do it from the front balcony. And of course, I've got like 100 feet of Ethernet cable from my office up to the backyard in order to be connected. Hope everything's all right, and nice to see everybody here. So, hey everybody, there's a beautiful chat room for those that don't know, where people can hang out and just enjoy. There's great people there. Got questions, anything, just, answer. And the people will answer. There will be, it's just great people that just want to help each other. And this is what is the fun part of this show, having people help each other and just be cool. So my name is Gilles. I'm located in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, and my neighbors will be looking at me saying, hey, who the hell is he talking to? Although they should see the two big spots that I have on me, which would mean that they're going to know that I'm doing probably something special. I've got my usual beer, so cheers everybody. This one is a Blanche de Chambly. I've this 12-pack of mixed beers from the same company that makes the Fins du Monde, so cheers everybody. And it's a beautiful moment. So radio-wise, I've got GP5. We'll be doing some ETM scans with this one. I've got the R20, and I've got my good old trusty PL680 right here. And of course, we'll be tuning the bands using these and trying to hear what we can hear. I was listening to VOA actually from Botswana Relay on 15580 a couple of minutes ago. So it's kind of cool. So hey everybody, welcome aboard. Nick Amendot from Romania. Hey there, nice to have you here. Richard Cook in the UK, nice to have you on board. We have NL13851 from the Netherlands, nice to have you on board. What do we have? Bullfrog KD2CXU checking in from Albany, New York. Nice to have you on board. Brett Wayne, KC2NXP from Salamanca, New York. Dark Noise NL from the Netherlands. Nice to have you on board, Dark Noise. Pretty cool to see everybody here. What do we have? If we continue down the list. Lots of conversation from the same people. Okay, going down. Hey there. Bobby Burgess. Hello there, WA5107. From Morgan City, Louisiana, USA. Mark Clark from Central Pennsylvania. Hey there. Max Edstrom from, I'm trying to remember from where. Nice to have you on board. Matambali, nice to have you on board from not very far in the WWV transmitters in Colorado. Eric Cottrell, nice to have you on board, my friend. Always nice to have all of you here. Image good, sound good. Thank you, Nick Amendot. Nice to have you here, and nice to know that it sounds okay. We have the shortwave frequency channel from Sweden. Nice to have you here. Nicola Hughes from, nice to have you on board, Nicola. David Arden, nice to have you on board. And too hot in Georgia to be outside. Here it's about 85, 80, between 80 85 Fahrenheit. It's and the sunshine, it would have been too warm, but in the shade, we're actually a nice summer day. It's actually warmer than it should be for this time of year. We should be in about 70 at this time of year. We're like at 80, 85 right now. And it's going to be warm all weekend. But next week, we're going to get colder weather. The temperatures are going to be in the 60s, which will be pretty much what we should have for this time of year. Rock the Tech Guy, nice to have you here. PA1WX, nice to have you on board from the Netherlands. Simon Templar, nice to have you here from Portland, Oregon. Nice to have you here. Bill Mead, nice to have you here. I thought I might see the pirate flag behind you. Instead, I see trees. Yeah. Eric Cottrell says, nice day down in Boston area. Not the end of the world, but you can see it from here. Nice. What do we have? Yeah, PL680, Richard, not the 600. This is the 680 here. Juan Amigo, nice to have you on board, mi amigo. ¿Cómo está? From Barcelona, Spain. Nice to have you here. And an ICOM R20, absolutely. Pirate trees. Yeah, they are pirate trees. Sorry if the brightness is maybe a little too much. It's very difficult to adjust the camera for the fact that the background here is very bright. I do have two big spots on me because you would not see me at all if there weren't any lights. Trying to cope with that the best I can. We're radioactive. Nice to have you on board. So it's like everything looks good here. Cool. Sean Fahey, nice to have you here. Mick 8, nice to have you on board, Mick. David Arden is on the Hurricane WatchNet 7268. And Saturn is on 14265. Let's try 14265. I am in upper sideband right now. See if I hear anything. And we'll try 7268 if I hear something. Shortwave Spud, nice to have you here. Eric says, at least you have a real balcony. There are apartments next to my workplace where some balconies are just rail across the sliding door. You know what? It's more and more popular in Montreal here, these types of balconies where there's no real balcony outside. It's really just a rail in front of the... Paul the cat is opening the door. It's just so funny. Yeah, I see a little paw grabbing the door and pulling the door. So that's what you heard. The door is here. Hey, come on, Paul. You want to come here? No, he's going to go on the chair right in the back of the camera. There's the chair that he likes to go to. And I left it outside last night. It was so funny because he always goes out at 4 a.m. or something. And when I woke up this morning, around 9, I went to see outside and he was sleeping on the chair on the balcony waiting for me to... Obviously. There's something. Look at that. So I'm hearing activity on 14265 upper sideband using just a PL680. Kind of interesting. So anyways, yeah, I got two real balconies. They're not big, but at least they are that. Mark Cope, hey, Propagation Strange in Dallas this week. We had a lot of geomagnetic storming this week, by the way. So it does... So there is some activity, 14265 upper sideband. You know what, I'll do a first ETM scan here, and we'll start that. And we'll see what it's going to come up with. I don't know how I could put it. I could put it like this, so it actually kind of touches the wire there. See if it helps in bringing in more stations. Whoa. And also falling down the 3-story building. And I'm going to just hold it. So anyways, Gordon Treadwell, VE6 GPT, nice to have you here. And only 3 in Andrew. Whoa. That's cold. But we'll have that eventually, I can tell you that. Do I have less noise out there? Nope. It's actually the same place where I listen in inside. I have less noise, yes, if you calculate that. I am not stuck within all the equipment inside, so It's better here with telescopic antenna than it is in my office, for example. But as for noise, if you compare it to my ICOM or my Firmware SDR, it's pretty much the same noise. So Paul is between my legs and wondering, how can I actually go on him right now without breaking anything? So he's just trying out and moving towards the... He's just trying to find a way to move out. And he's wondering what's happening. Dave Freeman, nice to have you here. MDK2, nice to have you on board. Matt, KE0SFC in Denver. I'm on the road running errands, but should be able to join the group in less than an hour. Cool, 33s. And do not watch the stream while you're driving. It's not a good idea. Bobby Burgess, not shortwave related, but you really loved my NOAA weather satellite captures. If I could show them. Oh yeah, they're absolutely nice. And they are very, very, very impressive to see you were able to. I need to set up the SDR for that, because the ICOM doesn't have a wide enough filter. So I hear the signal, but I don't. Let me just put it here. And but I don't. I can't decode it. So let's see if Mr. Paul the Cat wants to come here. Will I come here? We'll try to have Paul the Cat. Everybody wants to see Paul, I'm pretty sure. Hey man, look at that. Yeah, hey man. Here we go. Mr. Paul the Cat that doesn't want to stay here. Here we go. You wanna? Nope, he doesn't wanna. Okay. So he doesn't wanna. He's like wondering what the hell's happening, and he's actually finding a way to go. Here we go. He's gonna go down in the backyard like he likes to do. So, anyways, yeah, pretty cool. I'll try to show the captures. I don't have my phone here. I'm gonna try with my tablet. Maybe no, I need to have my phone. I'll try to do something about that, Bobby, a little later. La Postitla, nice to have you here from Auvergne. Nice to have you on board. What else do we have? What do we have? What do we have? Let me just go down here. Okay. Rock Ristorante, nice to have you here. And pretty cool, pretty cool. Risto in Stockholm, Sweden. SM0BT, nice to have you here. Rob Webster, hey there from England. Nice to have you here. M12 in 7 minutes. I don't know if we'll hear something here. 11575. I tried the other one earlier, 13 something. I haven't heard anything. I don't know if it's already too late for it, maybe. So, what else do we have? Doxfar 74, nice to have you on board from Germany, from dark Germany. And here it's here the sun is going to be up for at least another 2 hours, so about 2 hours from this point. A little more, 2.5 maybe. Dan Walsh, nice to have you on board, and happy Friday from New York City. Pretty cool. Commando 602, nice to have you here from Arizona. Pretty nice. Zachary Antol, nice to have you on board. What am I doing outside? Trying to enjoy the beautiful weather and doing a live show at the same time. I think it's working. I think it's working. So nice to have you here. Pretty cool to see everybody. What else do we have? Radioactive says it's 67 Fahrenheit in Oregon. That's nice. 67 is perfect. It's perfect weather to go outside and do activities. Actually. Jerry DX, nice to have you on board. Pretty cool. David Arden, you got it made in the shade. Alan Wheatley, nice to have you here from Newfoundland. Nice to have you here. Da-dee-da, nice to have you on board from Northern Ireland. Pretty cool. So, pretty cool. And Vivian Land, nice to have you on board, Vivian. It's in the 70s in North Carolina. Not too bad weather, I hope, in North Carolina with Hurricane Florence, hopefully. PLF Radio, bonjour, mon ami en France. bienvenue sur cette émission en direct. Welcome aboard PLF Radio. Mr. G, nice to have you here. Good evening. Commando says it's 107 in the desert of Arizona. That's really, really too hot, I can tell you that. Richard Cook's got an M01B carrier, 4585. Vancouver Island DXer, nice to have you on board from semi-rural British Columbia. Nice to have you here, Brian. VE7AUL, and also his shortwave call sign is VE711SWL. Nice to have you here. 89 Fahrenheit in Morgan City, Louisiana. We're not that far from the temperature, actually. So, nice to have you here. Nirudine Mazari, nice to have you here. Bienvenue à cette émission. Toujours un plaisir. Nice to have you on board. Let's try 7268. Let's switch to lower sideband, see if I can hear the Hurricane WatchNet. Here we've got a first scan of ETM. And it got China Radio on 7285.
Came from? Mr. Gian is so.
It's got Voice of Greece, 9420. Not very strong, but it's there. Radio Marti on 565. And that's it. Only got 3 stations right now. Using telescopic only. Still not too bad. So China Radio English from Albania transmitter site 7285. So not hearing anything on 7268 right now. I'll just leave it there. See if I get anything from Hurricane Watch 7268. Lower sideband. Radioactive says there's nothing on 14325 so far either. So okay. PLF Radio, will you compare the signal on both 680 and ICR 20? Yeah, why not? We could try that, absolutely. Let's try if my the R20 is an amazing receiver, but it's not a very good receiver for shortwave, honestly. Let me just try 7285, 7285, and mode is AM. And let's turn the squelch off. I barely hear China Radio here. Barely. Where it's actually strong on the GP5. Gives you an idea of how this receiver is not very good on shortwave. RF gain is set on max, so it's really at max sensitivity. It doesn't have an antenna suitable also for shortwave. That's the other thing that doesn't help. Bullfrog 89 and everyone else, I just put out a tweet to Gilles with a screen capture of the nets related to the hurricanes. $29, the same as here. So yeah, I'm gonna check that out. Any French ham here knows how long it takes to get your call? Huh. So yes, when I say my sloper is east-west, and it goes from the corner of the backyard, this is the sloper, moving up to the rooftop part. It is actually the sloper. It's moving to the corner up there. So, but that wire, not that wire here, by the way. That wire here. This is the sloper. I'm hearing some activity in 7268. So there's some activity in 7268 lower sideband. What I find interesting and nice is that because the wire goes here, when I put my 680 here, I can actually have the antenna touch my sloper, and it increases the signals a little bit. There's some induction going on here. It's cool for that. There's a wasp that I don't want to have here. Sorry, I'm not saying bye-bye to everybody. But I don't want to be have a surprise wasp somewhere. Paul is being catty. Yeah, absolutely. It's just like, nope, I don't want to be here. I don't know where he's gone down. He's gone down in the backyard probably. Too much activity here. NW7US, nice to have you here from Lincoln, Nebraska. Pretty cool to see you here. Really nice. What else do we have? The Unwinding Road. Nice to have you on board from Texas. Bobby's getting a strong on 14280. 14280. Let's check it out. Put an upper sideband. There's something. I do hear something. 14280 upper sideband. Rock Restaurante says, exciting weekend in Sweden. Scandinavian activity contest competition between Scandinavian ham radio operators. Only CW this weekend and SSB in October. I think I'm a little rusty though. Oh, this is going to be fun because this, one of the things that we don't hear that much. I hear them regularly, but Scandinavian ham stations we don't hear that much on the bands here. And when I hear, a station from Sweden or Finland or Norway, it's always kind of cool. And this is kind of nice. CW I'm not fond of because I don't, always need to use software. My decoding of CW is very slow. So it usually is sent out too fast and I can't do nothing. But I'll be checking for the SSB contest. That's going to be fun. Vivian Len says, weather is breezy and rainy. No damage from Hurricane Florence. Cool. Here we're supposed to have the remnants of Hurricane Florence on Tuesday and Wednesday with some rain and winds. But of course nothing compared to you guys, what you guys are going to have. George Icken, nice to have you here. Pretty cool. What else do we have? Richard Cook says impossible in 7268. Got CRI in 7265. PLF radio. So yeah, I do have less noise if I am outside here than I am. But it's funny. Okay, let's just say one thing. Because the question is there less noise here than inside the house? It depends. Yes, if I compare here to my living room or my office. No, if I compare it to my kitchen, which is just the door there, right next to me. So the kitchen is right here. This is where I was on the ICOM, if you guys remember when my ICOM was on the kitchen. Basically, it's almost the same noise level inside the kitchen here as my balcony. They're sharing pretty much the same noise level. Hey, Mickey Delmench, nice to have you here. Rub it in a snow-covered Sherwood Park. Wow, that's change in weather. That's Canada for you. It's like one day it's summer night, and the next it's snow, and you're just like covered in 20 different jackets because it's too cold. We're supposed to have close to 30 Celsius tomorrow and Sunday, and Monday also, I think. It's summer here, but next week is going to be cooler. But here in Montreal, it's too early for snow. I don't even remember if we ever had snow in September. September usually we don't. The first snow we see in Montreal will be a few snowflakes, and usually after mid-October, like after October the 15th, if there's a cold spell, we might see a few snowflakes. I remember when I was young, one Halloween, October 31st, where we went trick-or-treating and it was white. We had snow everywhere. But that is exceptional, actually, here in Montreal. The real first snow that stays on the ground, usually in a average Montreal year, November, somewhere in mid-November, we get this first snowstorm or something. And if the temperatures stay quite low, then that will be the snow for Christmas. But in the past few years, we've had snow quite late. We've even had a few years where, it's like 3 or 4 years ago. I think it's 3 or 4 years ago. We had Christmas was like 70 Fahrenheit. It was like 20 Celsius on Christmas Eve. I remember because I went outside in the backyard with some of my family and friends that were over from Christmas Eve. We were watching the stars, and I was all dressed up in my Santa suit. And it was like, even in my Santa suit, I was hot outside on Christmas Eve, so that was pretty exceptional. There was no snow on the ground. But this year, I don't know. Anything is possible. Jerry says, better watch out for Jack the Ripper with the wire behind you. Montreal is pretty safe, so I don't think that's going to happen. But who knows? Max Estrong, do long wire receive antennas benefit from a tuner? For receiving, of course there will be an effect of using an antenna tuner to tune the signal of to match the antenna to the frequency, and you will typically get somewhat of an improvement, but tuners are not necessarily something you want in a long wire. You don't necessarily need any. I've seen a few people say that they've used one. They've seen a little bit of improvement when they kind of match, but I don't think you'll see that much of an improvement, honestly. No name. Nice to have you on board from the UK. Radioactive says 14280, not making it to the West Coast at this time. What else is there? Bobby Burgess says, for SDR, there's a way Ham Radio Deluxe can control the software that controls your SDR. What else do we have? Yeah, probably, I would guess. Bullfrog's hearing the Saturn 14265 net very weak. Yeah, it's not very strong here too. Mark Brando says 14325, I guess, has had some activity last hour and a half, mostly net control asking for weather observation damage reports. Not much activity, barely able to copy in Wisconsin. I'm going to go on 14325 and see if I can hear some activity there. I'm going to check it out. Vatican Radio, very strong, 9705, transmitting west, so I think you can hear it. Let's try it out just before I go back. And it is there, but it's weak. It is rather weak. I haven't checked the K index today, but K index early this morning was at minor geomagnetic storming. So what else do we have? Richard Cook's got 9705, very strong. Need to get one try. I only just getting back to the radio after a long break. Well, welcome back to the radio. Radioactive says barely hearing WWV on 15,000 this afternoon. What else do we have? What's the neighborhood like where I live? So imagine a suburb. Imagine a suburb. It's pretty much what it looks like here. Here I'm on the 3rd floor, but over there it's all little houses, all the way to the corner of the street. This street feels like a suburb. Somebody one day watching one of my videos was amazed and thinking, and when watching my videos, saying, "Hey man, it doesn't look like you're really in the middle of a big city." I say, "No, I know. This looks more like a suburb than anything else. It's actually very beautiful here. It's a very nice place, and it's but it's a typical city. I mean, I am far from downtown here, so of course it's not the downtown area type city that we have. It's more like a little, neighborhood. The only difference is that a lot of neighborhoods have these, 2-3 story buildings with, like, 4 or 6 or 8 apartments or 10 apartments. This here is a 6 apartment. There's another 6 apartment next to it. But the rest of the street over there is just little houses. They're all individual houses with their driveways, and the street full of trees here. It really looks like I'm living in the suburbs. Sid Vic, nice to have you on board, my friend, from Gander, Newfoundland. Eric Cattrall says, ICOM released the R30 version 1.1 firmware today. Supports remote control using Bluetooth. So, pretty cool. Pretty cool. Brian, Iowa, nice to have you on board. Updated is also. Max Strong, is the R30 any better than the R20 on HF? I didn't think about bringing mine over when I went to the CIDX barbecue. Eric had his R30. From what Eric seems to say, and from Radioactive also, it seems that the R30 seems to be better at shortwave than the R20. It'd be interesting to compare both, that's for sure. Hearing Radio Havana Cuba on 15140. Let's check it out. 14140. So yesterday I was hearing it well. There's not even a peep of Radio Havana Cuba right now. So gives you an idea. If you have Orbitron and SDR shop, you can have Orbitron control your SDR. I know that Orbitron can control the radios also, absolutely. I'm going to check it out anyways. I first have to not just set up the SDR, I have to set up a proper antenna for it. Find a way to set it up. So remote control via Bluetooth, it's kind of interesting. CR, nice to have you on board from Brazil. Pretty cool to have you here. Radioactive's hearing WTWW. No, that's WT. See, it's WEWN, not WTWW, Radioactive. It's WEWN, the Catholic station on 15610 that I probably am hearing. It's interesting. That's a regular here, 15610, even on a portable radio. I am not hearing it at all. So it's very interesting to see that propagation seems to be kind of weird this afternoon. Kind of weird. Pretty weird, actually. What else do we have? PLF radio says K index of 2. Okay, interesting. It's very weird propagation today, I can tell you that. Howard Parker, nice to have you on board. M08YO. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. What else do we have? Zachary Antle says, I'd love to live so we're urban. The burbs are so boring. I'm a big city guy. I've always been. Somebody was telling me the other day, wouldn't you like, live in a small, small suburb outside of Montreal, or for radio purposes with low noise, maybe, yeah. But apart from that, I'm a city guy. I like big cities. I like the life in the city. It's something that I am born in, and it's something that I want. My dad had his shack up north many years ago, and of course I'd love to go up in the shack and be in the forest almost. It was like being in the middle of the forest almost over there, and I love that type of time also. but I love it for a certain period of time. So, you know, a few weeks out up north, middle of nowhere, absolutely, I love it, and I want it from time to time. It really, really is cool. But I am a big city guy. I would not live there. I would not like to live in a rural area where it's like there's your next door neighbor is 3 kilometers away or something, you know. Gary Schaff, nice to have you here. Is there any way to monitor HF on a computer? I just got started in ham radio and only have a VHF, UHF at this time. Well, if you want to use online receivers, there's a website, sdr.hu, where you can use online Kiwi receivers from around the world and monitor shortwave through these receivers. And it's a great, great place to go to, sdr.hu. sdr.hu. So there you will have a list of receivers from around the world. You can go there and tune around. If you mean from your actual computer and from your home, then you would have to get some kind of software-defined receiver. One of the cheapest to start out with, I would say, is the Soft 66, which is not bad for the price, around $40, and it's actually surprising. The shortwave aspect of it. Now there's a car with its alarm, and there's a plane passing by. But you can monitor using SDR.hu. There's a lot of different radios that are plugged in, and what else do we have? Eric says, does not look like the iOS app for R30 available yet. It will be next month for the Android app. Yeah, waiting for apps, that's always, you know. Now I know what's different. You're missing your glass of beer. Oh, it's here. It's right here. Glass of beer. David Arden says, propagation seems to vary from moment. At Italy and 20 meters, then it seemed to drop out completely. Radioactive has Hawaiian WeatherFax 16133.1 is barely audible, too weak to the code. And cool. Yeah, you'll hear planes quite often here. It's really a corridor of planes. I want to do a video. I really need to set up my camera because I want to do a video because there's 2 corridors of planes here all the time. And around, I'd say around 6 p.m. early evening, I would be able to set up because I have the dual watch capability where I put 2 frequencies of the airports here in Montreal.
Montreal Tower, 3903 is on the iOS.
And you just heard 1Com here. So I would put like the ICOM and I would put the camera in an angle so you guys could see, hear the communications and see the planes. I want to put that on the VHF UHF channel. There's a lot of stuff there. It's kind of nice. Let's try another ETM scan. So ETM, and I'll hold it because I think it's going to help in receiving some of the signals. Mick loves the ambient noise, yeah, but it's not too bad, you know. I mean, it could be worse. It could be like, you know, like I could be living in a place where there's like traffic and everything. It's just part of being here. Free Saxon, nice to have you on board. Says nice to see you getting some fresh air. Yeah, it's kind of cool, kind of cool. All right, David Arden says we live under a plane route to and from Atlanta Airport. I know what you go through. Oh yeah, yeah. And here it's, you know, there's another plane there, and there was another one there. Here it's to a point where sometimes in the summer when it's cool and I have the windows open, sometimes it's even hard listening to the TV because of some of the planes making so much noise. It's nuts. Scott Collier, nice to have you on board. I've been doing some shortwave listening on the patio this afternoon. A bit noisy, but some decent catches from Nigeria and Saudi. Pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Hey, we're at 92 watching. That's not bad at all. Hey, guys. And, of course, you're watching the Shortwave show on from Montreal, Quebec, Canada. And, yes, I am outside. I thought it'd be different. You know, it's kind of cool. Mad Cow TV, nice to have you on board. Jerry DX says GP5 says B is a great radio for the outdoors. Oh, absolutely. The ETM scan is so much fun. I mean, I have it on the PL380, and it's also great, but it's more sensitive on the GP5, and it actually also is faster on the GP5. So by the time the GP5 is over, the 380 is about halfway through, and the GP5 will actually finally, often probably get at least twice the number of stations the 380 will get. It's not because the sensitivity is better, because I compared both, and the signals seem to be at the same level. It seems to be more because of the fact that the ETM threshold is set so that it can actually detect lower signals. Daxfar 74, I hear sometimes Airport Frankfurt on my Sony 2001, but it's illegal in Germany. Oh, really? It's illegal to listen to air traffic in Germany? Wow. Okay. Here there's no, there's one rule here in Canada. There's another plane there. So you can see, guys, there's a lot of planes here. The only rule in Canada is that encrypted communications cannot be not intended for the public cannot be decoded. That's kind of the rule. But apart from that, anything can be listened to. So there's no rules here. You can listen to if it's not encrypted, you can listen to whatever. There's absolutely no rules in Canada for that. There's one rule. If I hear something over the radio, I cannot say it. I cannot share it with somebody else. I'm supposed to keep it to myself. This happened in the 90s, early 90s, when the scanner radios were extremely popular. What happened is they actually took the time, because some people started saying, hey, there's a lot of these people snooping in on the cops and everything. And they actually sat down, and it took a while before they actually introduced the new regulations. But they ended up saying, you know what, airwaves are public. There's no reason to prevent anybody from listening to whatever service. The only thing that they ask is that if you hear some communications, you can't use it for gain. So you can't technically, for example, because I saw that so many times, the tow trucks were listening on their scanners to the police frequencies. So when they would hear that there's a traffic accident, of course, the tow trucks would run to the place where they were, using scanner radios, listening to the police. That technically is illegal. But for the rest, listening to it is not. The only regulation right now is that if it's encrypted and not meant for the public, you're technically not allowed to decrypt it and listen to it. So that's the little part. So another plane here. So hey, the ETM scan's over. So we have China Radio 7285.
Was worried for the poor farmers, as all their crops were dead without rain from so long. One also reminded me that it had not rained once.
Something weak on 7325.
That's right. In the Bible, it was being used.
9350.
That's right.
I think that's WWCR.
Not hesitate and add to call the Pope the Antichrist throughout that Bible in his footnotes. That's exactly right. That's the original scripture. So that appears there, and of course, most Protestants who were instrumental in forming this country believe that.
9460. That is. Let me just check it out on my tablet here. We got the EIBI space frequency list here. Wrong pin. Okay, so we've got Find on page 9460, which is find on page. Yeah, find on page. Come on. 9460. That seems to be the Voice of Turkey in Turkish up to 2100. So that's Voice of Turkey in Turkish to Europe. Radio Marti on 9565. $96.90. Not very strong. Wow, could that be Voice of Nigeria? Well, that could be Voice of Nigeria, 96.90 in Hausa, on the African languages. So that would be Voice of Nigeria, guys. 9690. Wow, that's nice. 98.95, which is, I believe, Radio Cairo. With absolutely no. Is it? Nope. Yeah, it's 98.95. Yeah, okay. Yep, Radio Cairo, but no audio. Very weak 99.80. That's WWCR. And then we're back at China Radio 7285.
She wore gray shoes to match, not to mention her gray handkerchief. We followed her into the hall where a eunuch knelt with a large branch of willow tree. Her Majesty.
So 8 stations on the ETM scan this time, or 7 stations. I've actually put my tablet to good use today. I've got a pre-om page. I've got, of course, the EIBI list of frequencies I can search through. So I'm using my 10-inch tablet to do that today, which is kind of nice. So I'm going to keep that close and check it out. So next, 2057, we'll try to check for HM01 11635 today, which is the Cuban number station. So we'll try to keep this close at hand, as they say. So, okay, what else do we have? Max Citron says, I had 3 Texan PL360s, like the radio, but not one lasted more than a year. Sometimes I have such bad luck with radios. That's weird. You know, I've seen a few people mentioning they bought Texan receivers and have problems. They stop working after a certain time. And the funniest thing is, I have at least 10 Texan receivers, if not more. And apart from my 680 that had a little glitch on the encoder, I never had, you know, a receiver stop working on the Texan receivers. So it's also illegal to listen to ATC in the UK. Wow, that's kind of crappy. Come on. Kyle, nice to have you on board. And yes, it is a great day. A great day here, and it's perfect. It's about around 27 Celsius, 80 some Fahrenheit. Cyberflyer 1, nice to have you on board. Graham from the UK, nice to have you here. Matt Cow TV says that for new RCMP digital. Well, the RCMP is kind of always been digital. I've never heard the Canadian Royal Mounted Police or anything. I hear what's changed mostly is in the past more than a year now. Here, it's going to be almost 2 years in December that Montreal police actually have moved to a digital mode, which is encrypted also. Very weak All India radio on 9446 here. Very weak. What else do we have? Mike I says odd sounds on 9052. Yeah, probably some kind of MFSK or something. They often do that. Romania on 6170, very strong. Very good. It's interesting because we have Romania here, 13,650. Barely. And 11,850. The propagation doesn't seem good today here. Right now, it really doesn't look very good. Lion Nepal, nice to have you on board. Pretty cool to see everybody. What else do we have? What else? Alan Willing says, I've been hearing 9690 from Nigeria quite often recently. Oh, cool. And I did see yesterday. There was a post that went by quickly in one of the groups that I follow, where somebody was mentioning Nigeria, and it kind of came back to mind when I was actually checking it out on the GP5. So it's kind of cool. Kind of cool. You should get a wire clip and attach the GP5 to the sloper. Yeah, maybe I should. You know what? I know what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to take 2 seconds, guys. I'm going to go get alligator clips. And I will, let me just check that out here. I'm going to go get alligator clips, and I will actually clip the GP5 and the Texan PL680 on the sloper. I can actually do that from here, from what I see. So this could be an interesting thing to do. What I'll do is I'll do it when my beer's over. I'll get the beer and get the clips at the same time. Moria 330, nice to have you here, says, I know some countries allow local listening to ATC, but do not allow it to be broadcast over the internet. Yeah, technically there's a lot of these regulations sometimes. Max Headstrong says, there was also a bad production run on the Stangian 909X a few years ago. I had 3 that had bad volume controls. All went bad within a 6-month period. Oh, really? Wow. The one I have for the 909X is... the 909, sorry, not the X. I've got the older Radio Shack DX398 version, Stangian 909 original. That had a production problem with the speaker, and the speaker would wear out after a while, and mine is actually worn out. I'd have to give it to Fastload. You would probably enjoy opening it up and replacing the speaker in there. For Snuggles, nice to have you here, Adam. And he's got a Baofeng UV5R HP. These are nice little radios. Nice little radios. Yeah, there's a wasp. I can see the wasp in the back through the computer screen glare. Leon Nepal officially got SPL 380 3 days ago. Cool. Cool. Comes here to Nepal. I bought from Amazon and glad and enjoy it. It's better than the Sony ICF11 and Sony GR7800, the silver one. Wall sensitive, less noisy. I love the PL380. Cool. It is a great radio. Honestly, it is a great radio. Absolutely. Max Headstrong says the radio gods must be hangry. Oh man. Brian Penny, nice to have you here from Cape Cod, Massachusetts. Love the new studio. Can you DX with the gas grill? I've actually tried different things. It's first of all, I like the fact that it's there because at least it's kind of a little table where I can put the radios on. So it's like when I want to use a radio, I can just put them here, and I can put like 3 or 4 radios on the gas barbecue. No, I've never tried to clip. It's all metal, so I never tried to clip an antenna, an antenna to it or something to try it out. So it's crazy. Nicola used, why is it so noisy tonight? It's as if everyone's charging their devices. There could be somebody doing something. There could be something new in your area. There could be, if it's rainy or if it's very humid, it could be from some outdoor power lines. There's a lot of things that can make a lot of noise. Yeah, that would be nice if the locations would automatically come in from the chat. You're right, Max Strong. I'd like that. AMDK2. Nicolas, Buckinghamshire, UK. Steve in Australia. Nice to have you on board. Pretty cool. Max Strong is in Michigan. MDK2 says, I got a tiny bit of Nigeria DRM around 100 today. Oh, cool. Cool. Richard's got a station 4960 in English, which is probably the Voice of America, Richard. 4960 is one of the Voice of America frequencies from, I think, from Sao Tome in Africa, if I'm not mistaken. Let's check it out here. 4960. On the tablet. It's a little slow because I'm outdoors very far from the router, and it's trying to get the signal from my router, and I'm so far away that it's creating a little bit of a difficulty here. Yeah, Voice of America, and it's from Sao Tome in Africa, up to 2100 in English. Saturday, Sunday. Well, it says here Saturday, Sunday English. So right now should be in Hausa, which is kind of interesting. But anyways. Whoa. Philip Belts, nice to have you here. I love the PL660. Should I do the mod? What mod? What mod is there for a PL660? Well, it really, is it a mod that will really help you in some way, honestly? What else do we have? Radioactive's earring carrier from KNLS Madagascar, 17640. Yeah, 17640. I think that's not KNLS. That's, I think, the African Pathways. Let me just go down here. There's really nothing. Really nothing here. I think that's African Pathways 17640 that you might be hearing. Max Trunks, I would love to see you do a comparison of your sloper and a decent passive loop like the MFJ 1786. Yeah, that's something I would like to. That would be interesting to do. I will have in probably a few weeks the mini whip active antenna, the same one that's at the University of 20 right now receiver. I should receive it in a couple of weeks, so that's going to be interesting because I'm going to set it up here, and it's going to be interesting to compare the mini whip with the mini whip. That's cereals. The mini whip and the sloper. See which one's better actually. It could be nice if I could, if the mini whip would bring me like less noise. That would be kind of cool, honestly. Risto says, what's your favorite receiver? For me, it's still the one I got in 1974 when I was 15, Grandic Satellite 2000. With that radio, I managed to get QSL cards from more than 50 countries. My favorite receiver, it all depends on where and what I want to do. I would say I have several favorite receivers. My favorite receiver would probably be my ICOM ICR 8500. But I think I need to do categories now. I can't say I love one over the other. In certain categories, they each have something. So, for example, For my tabletop, the ICOM ICR 8500, the best. For a portable, the Gradic G5 is my favorite. For a SDR, the Afedri is an amazing HF receiver. So I think I need to put them in different categories, honestly. I think I have no choice now. David Arden says 100 watching now. If you don't have given a thumbs up, please do. Thank you very much. And yes, let's do a thumbs up. What else do we have? Max Headstrong says favorite would have to be the Yaesu FRG7 and the Collins R390A. These are nice. These are nice receivers. The FRG7 is really nice. Richard Cook's got the buzzer in 4625. Mad Boy, nice to have you on board. Mark Clark, HM01, 11635. I'm not sure I'm hearing it. It's very weak. Very weak in the noise. It's there, but it's barely making it in the noise here. On 11635 kilohertz for HM01. Six, three, seven. 6, 3, 7. Oh man. Got to put it a little off because it's a kilohertz off here, about a kilohertz and a half. Bullfrog89 says, I've been thinking of what I could do for a good receiving antenna, and I just looked up. My apartment has a tile panel ceiling. The crisscross frame that holds the tiles is metal. Time to experiment. Absolutely. You got to try everything. In an apartment building, you got to try everything. Pillar radios. The mini whip has to be put outside. Technically, it's best to put it outside, yes. And I will be putting it outside on top of my metal shed here, not very far from the from my vertical. Right here, if I look up here from where I'm sitting, my for those that follow my VHF channel, my mobile vertical VHF UHF is right there. I could see it on top of my metal shed. There's a big metal shed in the back here, just behind the camera, and the antenna's on top there, just above the roof. Lapis Titla says, has anyone been able to hear the comeback of Radio Nepal? I haven't had any logs of Nepal in a while. Walkable, nice to have you here. Pretty cool. Nice to have everybody here. It's really cool. Max Strong says, but if I could only keep one radio right now, I think the ICOM R8600 would be it. Love the band scope. Cool. What a pleasant day you have there, Joel. Yeah, absolutely, Walkable. It's beautiful here. Beautiful. It's really nice. Absolutely. BPM bit better than 5000, says Richard Cook. Philip Belts, that's a great show. Thanks for what you do. Thank you very much. Nice to have you here. And it's always cool to, it's cool to do these shows, honestly. Oh, cool. MDK2 going to be heading for his first radio club meeting on Wednesday. Ought to be interesting. Absolutely. I'll be at the this weekend. I'll be at the CKUT, the International Radio Report, but I'll be at a control. Sheldon will not be there, so I'll be a little bit like last time. I'll be a little nervous at the beginning because you got to control and start everything, but it's not very difficult to handle in reality. But so I'll be replacing Sheldon at International Radio Report Sunday morning at 14:30 UT. is going to be cool. So if you guys want to listen to that, the International Radio Report is a show about radio every Sunday morning. CKUT.ca if you want to stream it, or you can listen to the archive. And of course, it's a station here in Montreal, 90.3 FM. It's 14:30 UTC on Sundays that the show plays. There's the Canadian International DX Club. That is a great radio club across Canada, but also across the world. It has no borders. They have a excellent bulletin called the Messenger. You can ask for a sample copy if you have not done so. It's cidxclub@yahoo.com. cidxclub@yahoo.com. Sheldon will be happy to send you a sample copy. You'll see what the Messenger looks like. Nice little electronic publication. Very inexpensive, $10 per year or $25 for 3 years of membership. And it's a great bulletin and really, really interesting stuff there. Also, as here, we'll talk about donations. If you guys enjoy what I do, if you guys love what I do, you can send your donations at paypal.me/shortwave if you love what I do. You can also send through the Yahoo email that I will put in the chat room through PayPal. And Patreon.com, where 11 patrons right now are giving me a little something every month. And finally, on Wednesday, the money that was frozen since the first was unfrozen with a big "I'm so sorry, but sometimes we have to check out some of the people that donate." So it's like, okay, yeah, sure. But it's still annoying. So anyways, thank you everybody for the donations. It's always a pleasure, always nice to be part, and thanks for those that have donated. Kind of reaching out a little bit here for those that have never donated before. Why not think about it? It's some things that help me out. It helps me pay for equipment and do all sorts of things, and of course continue the live shows. Thanks for everybody for the donations. And we are now already past 1 hour at 1 hour 7 minutes, about 100 watching right now. And this is the Shortwave Radio Show. This is the show about radio every Fridays, 2000 hours UTC. And yeah, from outside, and it's actually even a little warm, I'd say. I gotta say, a little warm. Radio and computers. Let me just try it out here. The Patreon link. Did I put the? Let me just copy it and try it out here. Let's see if it does work. Patreon/radio. Yeah, it does work. It's actually not clickable because it's not in the form, so I'll put it here. Here it goes. Patreon, like this. This is Patreon. So on this one is probably clickable, but that is the right link if you enter it correctly. But PayPal is kind of better. I like PayPal better, honestly. But if you want to go on Patreon, because Patreon, what's nice, you just set it up, and it just, that's what people enjoy, is they don't have to worry about it. And at the first of the month, their donation goes through. Just be careful, the way that you set it up. Donald Hosmer, nice to have you here. Says we have a local club here in Michigan too. Nice to have you here. So yeah, they've unfrozen the funds, and they say that they're sorry. They had to do some checks, and well, I get the fact that they want to verify stuff, but it's still annoying, when they just freeze everything. Take care, Dexfar from Germany. Nice to have you on board. So, Max Estron wants to join a club that likes shortwave Cold War era communication receivers and wine. Well, is there a club that does both? I should start a club, radio and beer. That could be nice. It's the radio and beer club. Yeah, sometimes the links don't work well within the chat room. They kind of add some characters, some weird things that happen. If I try it out here, if I click, you see it works for me. I don't know why. Sometimes it works for some, it doesn't work for others. It's really weird sometimes. So it's something that does happen, unfortunately. So hey, William Helms in Florida, nice to have you here. Pretty cool to see you on board. What else do we have? Eric Cottrell says, I have a local radio club, Bad X, that covers both medium wave and shortwave listening. So if you want to put up the details, Eric, I have no problem with that. You know, radio clubs, whatever radio clubs, it's are nice. You know, if you want to just put some of the links of where you can find more information about the radio club, Eric, please do so. No problem here. Absolutely no problem here. And it's time for me to get myself another beer, which is in the fridge. It's going to take a few seconds, guys. And we are back in a few seconds. I'll leave you with CRI. I wonder if it works like this. Too much noise. So we'll put it like this here. So CRI on the GP5 SSB. Let's put it like this. And put this like this. And I'm getting myself my beer. So back in 2 seconds, guys. This is China Radio International 7285 from Albania. I'm going to try not to break anything.
I would say because they don't have that option. Because the announcement comes just a month after rival Alibaba confirmed that its food delivery arm has Starbucks already. So they would deliver coffee and snacks to consumers starting in fall in Beijing and Shanghai. And according to Starbucks President and CEO Kevin Johnson, before the end of the calendar year, the partnership will broaden delivery to 10,000 stores in 30 cities. So even if Tencent has the initiative to team up with Starbucks, it might be just, one or they have some ideas about this new coffee brand. Because we think we're lucky. It's a very interesting story.
And we are back.
That has the courage to actually challenge the market giant.
So that was CRI 7285 from Albania, coming in quite well on the GP5 SSB. Really, really nice to just using telescopic, man. Pretty cool though. So what else do we have? So Gary Harbin, nice to have you on board from Tokyo, Japan. Raining today. Great time for radio usually. When it's raining, it's radio time. What do we have? Two hands in the radio. Nice to have you on board. And it says dealing with some kind of bug here, going both ends and a fever. Yeah, that's the worst part. When you get these types of bugs, it's like, yeah, it's always horrible. So just say hi. Just just watch on computer or TV and take it easy. So this one is a FMA, which is a blueberry. This one is a blueberry flavored beer from the same company that makes the Fin du Monde. It's actually, I don't usually like fruit flavored beers, but this one is really, really good. So the other one I had was 5%. This one is 5.5% alcohol. So cheers, everybody. What else do we have? So take care, two hands on the radio. Hope you feel better. Data Dude, nice to have you here. Still summer in Canada? Well, it depends. If you ask if you ask Mickey out in Alberta, he's in the white stuff. So they got snow. Here in Montreal, it's summer-like conditions right now. It's 28. I looked at the temperature while I was in. It's 29, actually 29. Right here, because the sensor for the temperature is right behind my butt. So I guess if I fart, it'll change the temperature on Thermometer. Sorry to share that. Uh, so it says 29, which is like, I don't know, 85, something like 85 Fahrenheit. Very, very summer-like conditions that should be continuing all summer. All weekend. Sorry. What else do we have? Um, Oh, I saw a story about that, Max Strong, the Sunspot Solar Observatory that was evacuated. Kind of weird. I don't know. I haven't read all of it. So, Bill, K3WDR, nice to have you here. You hardly ever see people hanging up laundry. Yeah, there is here in the backyard over there. Some people, and I think there's only two people I see here doing that. That house down there, it's they have a little family. It's a guy and they look like, how do you call them? Like minimalists. They don't have anything extra. They don't have anything they don't need. They seem to be like just at the bare minimum of trying to and just living well. And they hang their clothes, and the other one, they have like 3 children. The other one is there's a Vietnamese family just on the other side there, and they also hang their clothes. And apart from that, I don't see nobody hanging their clothes here at all. I think they all do like me. I'm doing the same thing. I mean, I don't have it anymore because on this thing, I used to have a clothesline here. When I moved here, there was a clothesline here. And the first 5 years that I moved here, I was hanging my clothes to dry on it because I had a washing machine, but I did not have a dryer. Then in about 2005, the washing machine gave out, so I went to buy a washer and dryer kit. Since I have the dryer, I've never put the wash outside anymore. Even though, they try to tell us to do it because it conserves energy and all of that, but I never do it. And anyways, there's no more clothesline. So from 2005 to about 2011-12, the clothesline here was a metal wire. I was using it as a long wire for my shortwave radio. Until one day, I came outside and it was down in the backyard. One of the parts of the wire just broke. Well, I'm not going to go up in the pole there to put another clothesline. I actually don't really care about it. So, anyways, that's the story. No, I did not get the alligator clips. I forgot. I'll try to get them soon. GS Westwood, nice to have you here. Studying to take technician test. Right now to start, I have a Baofeng UV5 RHP. Do you have any suggestions? My oldest son told me about it and we decided to learn ham radio together. Oh, this is cool. Why not? This is the fun part. And actually, it's actually even more interesting and more fun to have something like that to do together. I didn't do a lot of things with my dad when I was young, but we were a very complicated family, and I rarely did things with my dad. But when we did, I have some good memories of like stamp collecting together. Another one, the other one was sometimes we'd try stuff. He helped me out once with putting up an antenna for my shortwave listening. Which are kind of good memories, and it's kind of fun, and it's the kind of thing that was kind of nice. And even though we would not really talk much or be together much, he obviously liked the fact that I had my hobby, and when he had the occasion or the money where a radio could be purchased, he would do it. So it's crazy. It looks like soup. Looks like soup. It's not soup. It actually looks more like some kind of fruit juice with a little bit of froth on top. So this one is a blueberry flavored one. It's a blueberry flavored beer. All natural. It's they have it only at this time of the year usually because it they use the blueberries up in Chicoutimi area to do it. So pretty good, pretty good. Not for everybody, but pretty good. So I'd say this is good for somebody that doesn't like the general taste of beer because it's a little fruity. You know what? I had a case of 6. I had 6 like these last year, and my sister came over, and my brother-in-law doesn't like beers that have a fruit taste to it. And I said, you know what? Try it. Just try it. And he took one sip and he said, you know what? I'm going to take one. It's actually good. And I said, yeah, it's different from what I had. 100 Fahrenheit in Arizona. That's too warm for me. That's way too warm for me. Manboy says, lucky. Been dropping to 8 Celsius in the morning. We had, what was it, on Tuesday? I think it was Tuesday. Tuesday it was like 8 or 9 in the morning. It was rather cold. Really cold. Alan Willie's got Radio France on 7205. Let's check it out here. 7205. I hate it when it does that. 7205. Let's check it out. 7205. Yeah, actually, it's sending noise, but it's actually giving me a signal, and I'm hearing French. 7205. Absolutely, it's there. It's there. Access Strong says, I love minimalists. Yeah, you know, they're nice. I mean, every time I look at them, or even sometimes they're playing in the backyard with the kids, and they see me on the balcony and they wave the hands like hello, you know. And they have a really big garden. They grow tons of things there. They have a really big garden there in the backyard. So you know, it's like really trying to you know, grow as much things. I think, you know, if they could, I think they'd have animals. And but they're nice, you know, nice little couple, honestly. And the K2 says, hang up the laundry at least when the weather permits, but usually just bed sheets. Looks more work to do with clothes. Oh, it's a lot more work, absolutely. You know, I'll put the clothes, absolutely. Honestly, I just, you know, use the dryer, and who cares? Yes, I do clean the vent regularly, absolutely. MDK2, I know. I always clean the filter, and it's cool here because the vent, the whole vent is easy to access. I just open my window on the side. It's next to the window, so I just put my hand outside, and I can actually make sure that everything's all right, so that the air goes out. So yeah, absolutely. And you know what? Not just that. There's one thing also you gotta about dried clothes outside is that your clothes will also last longer, because let's face it, all the you know, all the lint buildup is actually parts of your clothes that are actually gone. So you know, you wear your stuff much more using the dryer. What is the easiest VHF UHF antenna you can make? I don't know, a vertical. I would say a vertical. You could make your own vertical. Try to find a way to do it. You can easily do especially on these high frequencies, you can actually easily do dipoles for different frequencies you listen to, because the wavelength is so small. And it's really small antennas. The funniest part about clothesline drying, MDK2 and everybody, where I used to live before, when I was young, where I used to live, we had a quarry not very far, and they would have these really big chimneys, and they would make cement, and they had the big chimneys, and because people were complaining, they would actually do their stuff at night, and I would see all that big chunk of smoke going over pretty much the vicinity where I lived. And when that would happen, and my mom would leave clothes outside, white clothes outside all night, in the morning the clothes was gray, because the pollution, the smoke actually grayed up the white clothes. And so that was kind of, whoa. It just brings me to, wow, the air must have been so bad at that area back when I was young. I've had cherry beer. There's there's a Belgian beer that actually Fastlow gave me a pack of Belgian beer for Christmas, and there was one with cherry beer, and it was actually quite good. Honestly, it was very, very good. It was very low alcohol. It was like 3.5% or something. And K2 says, I like this time of year because all the breweries are selling their Oktoberfest brews, which are some of the best pure beers you can have. Yeah, I got I got the link to getting the passport done and going to the beer fest, which I would love to go. Honestly, I'm sure I would have such a great time. And I'm not a connoisseur, I'm not that connoisseur on beer, but I do enjoy a good beer, which is mostly what I want to do, And it's just, I just love tasting different beers. Mad Boy, yeah, winter's coming, absolutely. I was sitting on the balcony here last night with my good old Grundig receiver, the satellite transistor 6001, and I listened to Shortwave all evening. And by the way, because somebody yesterday posted on the channel, there's nothing to listen to. Well, I'm going to tell you one thing. From 2000 hours UTC, 4 p.m. Eastern, all the way up to, I went inside, it was up at 0400 UT, which was midnight. I heard yesterday Voice of Turkey, Radio Romania, Radio Prague, Radio Slovakia, Voice of the Report of the Week, Voice of Vietnam, Radio Havana, Cuba. I heard some of the American stuff, also like music from WRMI. There was some music. What else did I hear? Anyways, there was something to listen to all evening. I had so much fun. Yesterday was like a cool radio night. And I had my tablet, and I was just like, going on the web and checking things and checking schedules, and it was a lot of fun. I had a lot of stations last night. It was really, really cool. So, what else do we have? The Great Northern Woods winter is about to begin. I actually like winter, so I got no problem with that. Robert Prosper says, I'm down with that Conicom, but it's a huge fail on tuning to a particular frequency. Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That is the annoying part of this, is try to tune a frequency, If you noticed, I did not tune what you guys are telling me on this thing. I was tuning on the Texan PL 680 keyboard entry best. But here, for example, I'm not that far. So if I actually go to, Let's try to go to that frequency of Radio France 7205 that we're talking about. Thank God I was on 7285, which was close. So Radio France, not very strong, but it's there. It's time for another ETM scan. Let's try another ETM scan here. See what you can hear on the shortwave bands. Indicate to intend to start gardening. Lost my prime garden plot a few years ago when some jerk next door built a 7-foot fence, robbing it from a ton of afternoon light. Yeah, no sun, I can tell you. Welcome to the live shortwave and laundry show. Yeah. Robert Prosper's got Levi jeans from 30 years ago. They're still good to wear. The stuff I buy these days, though, begins to tear inside after 2 months. You know what? I wear Levi's 501. It's the only thing I wear when I wear jeans. And I wear jeans 90% of the time. I bought, I think it was 6 pairs of Levi's 501s, and they were on sale for like $40 each. And I bought like 6 pairs because at $40 each, it was like, wow, this is a good price. They're usually like about $80 or $90 here. And I am amazed at how fast they are wearing off. And kind of thinking that I have the impression that Levi's 501s 20 years ago were not the same. Not the same. And the K2 says, I should have done more listening outside this summer. Maybe I'll try tonight. Yeah, I mean, what I was saying yesterday when I was listening in outdoors is at one point it was about 10 p.m. and I was really, really wild, just wearing t-shirt outside. But I had a flash of hey, we're mid-September. This is maybe one of the last times I'm actually sitting outdoors at 10 p.m. listening to the radio without having to wear a jacket or something. Is there a show tomorrow? No shows tomorrow. Tomorrow is my Saturday off. The next shows will be next week. I have a shortwave show on Friday next week, 2000 UT. And on Saturday of next week, I will have the VHF UHF show. So that's coming next week for those that enjoy the radio shows. Michael Madge says, Ian McFarlane, RCI Shortwave Digest, is recovering from back surgery. Well wishes. Yeah, I hope he's coming back okay. So, hope he's okay. Neodin Mazari has All India Radio 7750. Really? I don't know if they have that frequency. It's 750. Check it out here. Got nothing here, but I know they are in 7550. Oh yeah, 7550. It's coming in. All India Radio. 7550. It's not DRM today. It's analog. I wonder if the County Com will have stopped on it. Bill Ross, like dry clothes outside, but the dryer sheets keep blowing away. Oh, man. Man. Dry clothes on the line in Dead Valley, that must like dry in like 5 minutes. Oh, man. What else do we have? What else do we have? Let me go down slowly. Mark Brando says activity on 7268 lower sideband extremely weak. I'm going to try that out to see if I hear something. Bullfrog, okay, I've tested the ceiling tall frame antenna. It's much, much better than a 5 feet web indoors. If you have a similar ceiling, I recommend it. Cool. Cool. MDK2 says, save up your pennies and we can do it next year. I've actually never been to the beer festival myself. You know what, MDK2? I'm going to take you on this because I just started the process of getting my passport because I haven't had my passport in ages. And one of the things I want to do next year is go to the Shortwave Festival. And I have a few ideas of maybe traveling a few times next year because I have an interesting idea here for personal reasons that I will not go into. I will travel a little bit more. And I plan on, my work, my YouTube stuff, I can do from anywhere. Which is kind of cool because that means I can go somewhere for 2 weeks, still work on my YouTube videos, and do live shows. I'll just not be at my home. All I need is an internet connection that's good enough to do live shows and to post my videos. So 2019 will be a special year for me. It's going to be a year where I might be actually traveling a little more. And, that beer festival could be one of the occasions to not just go to a beer festival, but to also see another part of, the U.S. that I've never been to. And I think that could be a lot of fun. Tio, nice to have you on board. Fastload, bienvenue, welcome. Nice to have you here. Bill Ross says, my mom grew up very near a steel mill and said every morning I had to sweep the soot of the porch. Absolutely, there are places that are horrible for that. So let's try 7268 for those that wonder what that is. 7268 is the hurricane net. So 7268, let's try it out. 7268, lower sideband, and see if we have some activity. So here we've got some, the ETM scan is over. Let's see what it brought. So 5960 kilohertz. Let me just check it out here. I'm going to go with this. I think it's CRI. It's very, very weak. But I think that's CRI on 5960 right now. Oops. 5960. And yeah, China Radio International right now. Then we have 9350. WWCR. Greece coming in quite well, 9420. With some music. So this is Greece coming in well, 9420. Pretty cool. $94.75, which is WTWW in Lebanon, Tennessee, USA. Radio Martí on 9565. No audio, but that's probably Cairo on 9800 kilohertz. Radio Cairo, yep. Which should be technically in English. WWCR 9980 kilohertz. $11,610. This is the this is from Madagascar in Mandarin. It's Madagascar World Voice, The Light of Life, which is, I believe, kind of KNLS Alaska broadcasting from there in Mandarin. This is from Madagascar Relay. So I'm hearing something It's amazing. Shortwave's amazing. This portable telescopic antenna, and I got a signal from something like 14,000 kilometers away, Madagascar to Montreal. Amazing. And WWV on 15 megahertz. Look at that. Pretty cool. I haven't heard WWV this strong in a long time. This is cool. And a plane passing by. Check out what time it is exactly. Should be 21:42 at the top of the hour.
At the tone, 21 hours, 42 minutes. Coordinated uniform
21:42. So now you know what's the delay, thanks to WWV. Oh, I haven't heard this WWV this strong in a long time. And yep, that was the last that it heard. So let's put it here. Kind of nice. Kind of nice. So nothing. I'm not hearing a lot of stuff here on the 7268 frequency. We have 7285 on the ICOM with China Radio 7285.
A little bit bigger and
Coming in,
here, but
not bad.
still a cat. And then they beat over other cats, and you see other cats lying on the ground. It's not bloody at all. It's just all killed and bubbly.
Killer cats in China.
Not at all. It's suited for kids from 3-year-old to, let's say, 99. If you have a heart of children.
All right, interesting. Okay, you mentioned something about a flood in this as well. What exactly does that entail?
So even the ICOM's getting China Radio. Not bad. Not bad at all. Propagation seems a little better now. We're going to continue and of course do more ETM scans as time goes by as I check the frequencies. Let me just check it out here. Anything else to check out? What are the different stations? So 2100. We're at 2145. There's going to be HM01 Cuba at 2157 on 10715. We're going to actually put the Texan PL 680 on 10715 and wait for HM01 from Cuba to pop up, see if we can hear it. So Donald Osner says weak activity here in Michigan on 7268.2. Florence downgraded tropical storm. They are getting a lot of rain though. I did see the amazing. Did you guys see that Weather Channel 3D representation of all the rain? It was kind of impressive to see. Can you choose your own call sign? How do you do it? Well, usually for amateur radio, if you want to have a call sign, a specific call sign, you need to check out if it's available. If it's not available, you can't. It has to be available for it to happen though. Brady Handel, nice to have you here. Pretty cool. Bill K3WDR, mosquitoes. Yeah, there are a few, that's for sure. Mark Schmidt, nice to have you on board from Maine. Richard Koisgad, Vietnam, weak on 9730. Bobby Burgess has weak activity on 7268. What else do we have? Risto has 9730 Vietnam S4 in Sweden. Caro, very weak audio on 9800. That's what I was hearing. It stopped on it, but there's like no audio. Absolutely. Rospit Prosper says absolutely not the same as when they were made in San Francisco by unionized American workers. Today, making anything in San Francisco that is not a stream of bits is unthinkable. Yeah, they used to make some here also in Canada. I remember when the Levi's 501s were printed made in Canada here. Now they're all even the ones I buy here are what is that noise? Even the one I buy here are now I think it does say on the tag made in Mexico now. Absolutely. Donald Osner says, I like the County Com as a travel radio. Use the ETMs to find stations because tuning is a bear. You can pre-program memories. Yeah, that's what I do actually. I pre-program tons of memories with specific frequencies. So if I want to go to a specific frequency range, it's basically using the memories to actually make things faster, because no keypad is really making annoying. It's annoying to actually to tune if you don't have a keypad. Bobby Burgess got a week of All India Radio on 7550. Okay. What else do we have? Mark Copes heard CHU for the first time in North Texas last week. Amazing. Only 10 watts. It's 10 kilowatts, not 10 watts. You forgot the K. It's 10 kilowatts. So, yeah, you should. North Texas for CHU, you should. What frequency did you hear it on? Just out of curiosity. 7850? Or 3330? Or 14670? PLF radio's got 7550, very strong. Main Potato Net, 2230 at 2958. I'll try that at 2230. Try to remind me, Bill. I'll try it out. Anyone in US, Canada having luck DXing long wave broadcast from Europe? I've never heard in all of my DXing times anything from Europe on the long wave bands, unfortunately. Mark Brando says 7268 sounds like new net controller from Southwood, Missouri. Lots better. Huh. Mikhaich 7550, All India Radio discussing the tabla. Okay. Pyongyang on 6400. Theo, me, you, Cuba, and our radios and lots of beer. Oh yeah. Absolutely. What's the memory of Cuba? I remember radio, I remember the ocean, and I remember being drunk. It's funny because when I go to a vacation spot or anything that I would go to, I tend to not drink, actually. It's like the reverse thing. I don't know. But of course, you know, going to Cuba with a all-included thing, I would have pina coladas all the time. North Carolina SSB net 2330 on 3938. That could be interesting to listen to, honestly, for with what's happening. Bobby says that would be great. Come to Louisiana. You know what? If I had the money, honestly, I would go and have a big tour of the United States and see tons of places, for sure. Eric says I can get long wave broadcasts from Europe. I am near the coast, near Boston, Massachusetts, and he uses a Wellbrook. Yeah, I think, you know, being very close to the coast of the Atlantic Ocean is helping a lot when people want to listen in to signals from so far away. Ronald Mullis, nice to have you here. Lots of rain and 8 Celsius in the UK, but winter is coming. Looking forward to the long nights. That's radio time. MDK2, hey, can we do a live show from my shack? If my connection is good enough? Absolutely. If I go to the beer festival, you can bet you we'll do a live show from your shack. Absolutely. Oh, do it outside from the WWV transmitter side. That would be cool, actually. Outside with the antennas of WWV in the background. That would be kind of cool. That would be, like, really, really nice. PLF Radio says maybe the Oktoberfest in Munich, Germany. Yes, absolutely. That would be great. The problem is money. You know, that's the biggest problem, money. I have a limited amount of it, unfortunately. I am not like Tim Cook of Apple that has billions, where you can just like this say, hey, I want to go to Germany today. Let's just take a plane. Unfortunately, I can't do that. Donald Hosmer says I have a bucket list travel plan. Going to take my gear to Signal Hill in Newfoundland, Canada for a mini day expedition. That's where this hobby got started. Yeah, with Marconi. Oh, man. Oh, man. Ceiling tile antenna. What else do we have? Shortwave is nearly the last place available to Alex Jones, the new brothers there. Yeah. It's okay, you know, I'm not, anyways, I won't say anything about it. Let's get out of that messy area where with YouTube you can get in trouble easily. C. Johnson, nice to have you on board. You ever try putting some foam inside those radios for some better audio? No, never thought of that. Although the 680 is not bad for, but the GP5 isn't too bad on the audio. It's a little thinny, but you know. Terry Cook, nice to see you here. Said sadly, it looks like WVH are going away. We're not there yet. Let's cross our fingers. We're not there yet. Oh, all of it. WVB also. WWVB. It's all of the time stations. So all the 50 million clocks in the 50 million clocks that synchronize with the 60 kilohertz signal would stop synchronizing. But you know, that's the thing that's very important to understand. I think one of the biggest problems right now is that somebody might have picked up the fact that, because we're talking about it this year, nobody talked about it last year, and last year the proposal was the same. Last year they also had not any funding for WWV, WWVH. They are still there. So that's why I say I don't think we're there yet. I don't think they're going away. Honestly, I don't think they are. I think we just gotta, you know, we've just gotta make sure that, you know, we gotta make sure that we, you know, talk about it. Make sure that people, it's good that everybody talks about it, honestly. But it's you know, we're not there yet. Okay, we're really not there yet. I remember how mysterious, you know, when I go back in the 80s and I was listening on my Radio Shack DX100. I remember going back and thinking how it was so weird to have these time stations on, and you know, I remember finding mysterious to hear WWV, or you know, it was like, that was so weird. I remember first time I got on WWV, and I believe I got the 15 megahertz frequency, was probably the first frequency I've heard from WWV, and wondering what that was, and wondering why, you know, saying, wow, this is so cool, why is there a station giving time? I don't understand. And you know, then later you start understanding the usefulness of all of that. And you know, I don't know how many times I used WWV's signal to tweak the PLL and the Kenwood R5000 to make sure that it's smack on frequency, because it's one of the known frequencies that you can actually trust. And like MDK2 says, any of you guys in the United States, please take the time to read, to write to your representatives, senators. Make sure that you let them know that you care about WWV, WWVH, WWVB. You know, if I can think of things to say, first of all, tell them WWVB is a signal that's used in 50 million of these atomic clocks that are sold and that people own in the United States that will stop synchronizing. You know, that's a heavy, pretty heavy thing to think about. 50 million clocks will not synchronize anymore. And don't forget to tell them that not only, you know, when you write to let them know, you got to explain. These people don't know what these stations are. And one of the things that you are, as a radio listener, and maybe as a more scientifically inclined person, able to explain, is the usefulness of the time stations. Not just for your hobby. You know, you can start small in your hobby. How WWVH helps in your specific hobby. Then you can talk about the scientific field. We have Cosmic Letters that's regularly in the chat room that talk about how in a lot of the astronomy stuff that he's been to and all the science behind it, they actually were using WWVH to you know, make sure that their time is accurate. And you know, you would think, because a lot of people think that today, and I'm sure congressmen and these representatives all think the same thing, that all of that must be now on the internet, which is absolutely not the case. And you know, these atomic clocks, I think a lot of people probably think they're synchronizing over the internet. No, they're not. They're synchronizing over a signal that's on 60 kilohertz on the long wave band. It's WWVB. It needs to be maintained. So put all of that within the email or the letter that you are sending in. Make sure that you have a voice. It's by talking about that these people will talk and say, oh, that looks important. We need to keep it. Very important. Charles Williams, nice to have you on board. Man. And K2 says, if I had a better receiver when I was a kid, I would have gotten into shortwave in the early 80s like Shell, but at least I would get WWV on 5 megahertz then. Strangely soothing to listen to. Yeah, there's something about it. I remember times when the bands were quiet, like a 19 meter band, 15 megahertz in a summer evening, where it's very few signals, like Radio Australia in a few spots. And going down with a very, very low background noise, a bare little hiss, because back in the 80s the noise level was so low. And then coming across WWV on 15 megahertz, I understand what you're saying by strangely soothing to listen to. Absolutely, there's some kind of peacefulness. I don't know why. So, you know. C. Johnson says, about an AM/FM portable for like $4 shipped from China. It had a plastic telescoping antenna on it. What? Okay, that's kind of a weird thing. Oh God. Yeah, you got to be filed to the FCC for the vanning call signs. Hey, Richard Tribble, nice to have you here. Going down, guys. Radio Vanek Cuba, 12,000. Let's try it out. Yeah, it's there. It's there. And you have to fill out with the FCC absolutely for a vanity call sign. What else do we have? Do we have? Let me go down. I'm going a little fast, so if I've missed somebody, say hello. Hey, we passed 121 people at one point watching. That's not bad. Edward Hernandez, nice to have you on board. How can you transmit without getting caught? Love what you do for the community. Keep the good work. Well, I don't transmit so I don't get caught. But if you're talking about pirate stations, you know, most pirate stations on the shortwave bands follow specific rules. Try not to interfere. And you know, it's difficult to find these shortwave pirates, honestly. I mean, shortwave, you're broadcasting from wherever. You know, I personally, if I would do a power station, I would set it up temporarily in spots where, you know, I'm going to be there only for the show, and then dismantle everything and go back home. That, I think, is probably the best way to do it. Dalton Hosmer has his vanity call as W8SWL. Pretty cool. Yeah, Captain Dave. Richard Tribble. Sorry. Ugh, I forgot that I had a tablet on my knees. Okay. What else do we have? Let me check here if I move the camera. Hey, we are back. I think the camera moved a little bit. Oh, there's some sunshine there. Slight sunshine. The camera may be moved, but I'm not sure. Here, let's put it more like this, since you guys will see the radios a little better. And less of the wall. So there's a little bit of sunshine on the receivers here. It's nice to be here. 2 hours already in the show. I have the impression we started like 10 minutes ago for some reason. It's really crazy. So, pretty good, Cuba. 12,000 kilohertz. Okay, 7850 for CHU. I never hear 14 megahertz of CHU here, Eric. I'm really too close. Is Turkey on? Yep. Voice of Turkey, 9830 kilohertz.
The two leaders exchanged views on several bilateral cooperation topics, including economy, trade, defense, culture, and education. President Erdogan says he believes Turkey and Kazakhstan will carry their deep-rooted relations further to the future by getting stronger.
So, Voice of Turkey, 9830, not bad.
Nazarbayev congratulates Erdogan on his win on 24th of June elections. Kazakhstan backed Turkey's policy in the international arena, Nazarbayev said.
Kind of cool to tune the portable receiver instead of some fancy radio. Well, it is still fancy radio, but it's kind of cool to tune these instead of an SDR or you know a you know, big ICOM. On it's kind of cool to tune these little portables instead. Let's try Turkey on the R20 9.830. Yeah. It's interesting. It has a tone to it. Oh, I'm in AM. Weird. That's so weird. Oh, the tablet's making it, I think. This is weird. I got a tone on the R20. But it is coming in well. I just don't understand why. Oh, it's gone. Oh, maybe I didn't listen there. Maybe it was on the frequency. So 9830 is coming in quite well on the ICR20 also. Not bad. Not bad. Hanley Dreadnought, nice to have you on board. Bill Mead says, when I lived in Maine, I could hear a long way from Europe all the time. Winter was the best. Yeah, when you're close to the coast, and you need big antennas. The bigger the antenna, the better it is, absolutely. Tony Perron, nice to have you here. Thank God it's Friday. Donald Hausner, what do we have? What do you have? I am very new to this, so questions. Oh no, JS Westwood, please. There are no dumb questions. It's very, very, very nice very good to ask any questions. We're here for that. We're here to help. There are no dumb questions. And I mean, when you don't know something, we don't know something, and that's it. That's all. You know. Is there a site where I can check what call signs are used? I guess there must be. Well, you know, if you can actually go to QRZ.com. That's a simple answer, and just type a call sign and see if it comes up registered within QRZ.com. But there must be a place somewhere where you can check for call signs. I don't know if you guys know about it. Is there a place where you can go? There's QRZ.com, but is there any other place? 9764. I have a very weak signal, 9760. That's Extron says, I love the time stations, part of my youth, but seriously, do we need government-sponsored superstations? Can't the same info be had on the internet for a fraction of the cost? It's not the same thing, Max Estron, because here you are supposing that internet is available everywhere. So I'll give you an example, Max. If you are in the middle of nowhere where your cell connection is not there and there's no internet around you, you're doing an example of that, astronomy. Where you do astronomy where it's dark, and where it's very dark, there's like nothing around. So what will you have? A lot of spots where you do astronomy, you don't have cell connectivity, you don't have internet access. You have WWV signal though. And if you are in a astronomy spot, dark skies, you probably have low noise, even easier to receive. So it is important that these stations be there. And it's not just that, Max Strong, it's because like I was mentioning, for example, look at the accuracy. These are very accurate time stations. I mean, this is 1 part in billions of accuracy of not only the time, but the frequency transmitted on. So you can actually use it to not just synchronize time, but to also be able to adjust equipment to a very high precision. So, you know. Dr. Sisop, nice to have you on board. Nice to have you on board, as usual. What else do we have? Yeah, I got the QSL from Dalton Hosner's, remembering QSLing WWV. From the Greenbelt, Maryland transmitter side before they moved to Colorado. Wow, 1964. Wow. Oh, 80s CB was very noisy, absolutely, because there were so many things there. Brett Wayne's got S9 signals on 7268 lower sideband. Yep, 2 hours, 8 minutes, 115 watching. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Let's make it 4 hours. Well, we had 4 hours and 40 last week. That was a long time. I had not done such a long show, honestly. I'm only on my 3rd beer. No, I'm not even. I will be starting my 3rd beer soon. So it's not too bad. Danny, Shortwave Radio DX, nice to have you on board. And greetings from a mild and cloudy Yonkers, New York. Pretty cool. He put up the hula hoop active loop antenna and in his backyard and listened to some shortwave. Cool. Cool. Will you go away? Joao Sombra New House, hello there. Nice to have you here. Take care and have a good breakfast, my friend Gary in Tokyo, Japan. Catch you next week, absolutely. Well, how to transmit without getting caught? 6,000 watts on Super Bowl Channel 6. I don't know, but man. Yeah, I don't have nothing on 9760 either. Darkness is Groot News Radio in the Netherlands will close down January 2019 and 1008 kilohertz. Wow. Hope someone buys the transmitter to resell it to smaller Dutch stations. Turkey booming in S9 plus 35, says Richard. Pretty strong here too. Mark T, nice to have you on board from Puyallup, Washington, USA. Like your show. Thanks, Mark. Nice to have you here. Nice to have you here. Voice of Turkey is nice. S9 plus 20 with the hula hoop. Pretty cool. Yeah, it's funny. It sounded like feedback. It's very weird. Have you got... Joe Sombra says, have you ever got SSTV signal or shortwave listening? I always listen to 14 to 30 to 14 to 40 when the propagation is good. But without luck, continue listening. You'll hear some. Typically, if you put your radio around, you know, the typical frequencies here that I hear them, and I hear slow scan TV on the 20 meter band is more like 14 to 25 to 14 to 35. And if you put your receiver on 14 to 30 and leave it there in upper sideband for, just leave it there. Do something else and leave your radio there with the volume just enough so you can hear something. You will hear some. I heard some. Last time I heard a slow scan TV on 14 to 30 was last week before the show. There was a signal. Actually, I was tuning to 14 to 30 about 30 minutes before the show on Friday last week. So, you know. So, yeah, there's QRZCQ.com also. You can check. Richard says, check REC, Radio Amateurs of Canada. And Bullfrog says their FCC has a page you can search, so you can do that also. So you can check it out on the FCC website directly. I thought the FCC must have some kind of place you can check it out, for sure. I've never had, you know, on QRZ.com, I don't think you have to register. Honestly, I've never had a call sign that wasn't registered on QRZ.com. It's not, you got to register. You got to register if you want to have your special page with all your pictures and your stuff. But not if, just for the call sign, I think it's automatically logged on QRZ.com. Dr. Sisop says, try WWV on 60 kilohertz there. I can't hear storm blocking signal. I never hear that here. 60 kilohertz is not a frequency I hear anything. And I mean, I can't even, I barely can, synchronize a clock here. How much do time stations cost per year to operate? I don't know either, but I think it's a valid question. How many people are served versus the cost? You know, Max, honestly, I would think, because you got to look at always the cost versus how useful it is and how it's used. Honestly, I'm pretty sure that the cost of the running time stations is very low per person, first of all, and the amount of scientific hobbyists and so on that use it for purposes is probably worth continuing. There's so many other things that I'm sure are pretty much useless compared to that. Hey Ray in Southern Illinois, nice to have you here. And you know, the internet is not necessarily always very very precise, because sometimes you can have lag that happens and makes that your synchronization is a little off. To give you an example of that, I remember once synchronizing over the internet and I was still off enough that I could not even decode a FT8 signal. I had to have a better way of actually synchronizing. So, you know, it's crazy. Hey, KC Red Dragon, nice to have you on board. Pretty cool to see everybody here. Always nice to have you here. Keegan in Northwest Arkansas, nice to have you on board. Pretty cool. Any pirate activity I can presently pick up? Let's check it out here. Let's go to let's go here and let's check out if I can hear anything. on the bands.
I don't know. But no.
6952 upper sideband. 6952 upper sideband, guys. There's a pirate station. Guys that are assholes, apparently. Anybody know of any? I could think of a few. HF Underground. Let's check it out. HF Underground. Shortwave Pirates. So 6952 upper sideband on a portable radio. NID. It's been logged by Chris Smolinski of Black Cat Systems at 2208.
Oh my god, this is so weird. I was talking about that. Yeah, man, in the heart.
With some music. So, Pirates. Take care, JS Westwood from El Paso, Texas. Nice to have you here. So, pretty strong pirate with some, I don't know, somebody's broken heart or something, or some. Thanks for sharing, guys, the FCC search page and everything for finding the ham calls. Ray says WWVs cost $6.5 million, I guess, per year to operate. Yeah, it ain't that much, honestly. There's so many other things that cost so much. It's a very small amount. It's a very small amount when you look at the full budget. Yeah, but you guys owe 22 trillion that could easily be paid off if you could take the right decisions. Military probably spends more than that on toilet seats. Yeah, probably. Ray says, I use WWV when I'm in the field with astronomy gear. It needs to stay. And, you know, Ray's not the only one I've heard with that. I've heard many voices from the scientific community that say, hey, I use WWV or WWVH to synchronize stuff when I'm out there. Voice of Greece, S9 plus 20, says Danny, Shortwave Radio DX. Yeah, absolutely. We should not go farther away in politics. Absolutely. All this hobby lacks in female interest. Yeah, there's not a lot of women in there. Absolutely, you're right. Bobby's got thunderstorms approaching in a moment. Bobby has nothing on 6952. MDK2 nothing on 6920. No, it's not 6952 MDK2, not 6925. 6952. Mick 6952 might be one of the neighbors. Donald Hosmer says 6952 USB. Young lady heard here in northern Michigan. Yep. Pirate Station 6952. No Bullfrog. GPS and NOAA satellites use their own type of signal to synchronize. And as we were talking last week, GPS signals have timestamps in them. They could be used, and they could make clocks, and there's actually some clocks you can buy. I saw one the other day for like $130, $140. that actually synchronizes its time with the GPS satellite signals rather than the 60 kilohertz. Maybe for somebody like me that would be a nice clock to have. Can you actually put a telescopic whip antenna on top of the air conditioning if the bottom of the base is magnetic? Yeah, sure. Of course, if you have a big AC, it would actually kind of help out, absolutely. I don't see why it shouldn't work. As long as your AC is quiet on the noise side. That's the other thing. PLF Radio, bye-bye. And see, on se voit la semaine prochaine, vendredi prochain, à 20h temps universel. Take care, my friend from France. What else do we have? Brett Wayne says 6952 is S7 in Salamanca, KC2NXP. No, they don't work in the same GPS satellites, but they are vulnerable, absolutely. GPS signals can actually get completely off when there's huge solar flares or big coronal mass ejections. What else do we have? Dr. Sisop says 6952 isn't coming in. Hurricane to the north of me blocking signal. Hurricanes don't block signals, Dr. Sisop. Unless you have static crashes from the lightnings, but the weather doesn't impact much the shortwave signals. Any chance, Sombra Nuance said, any chance of shortwave listening at my house? Only when I'm on trip to my parents' house. I'm building a magnetic loop antenna to get a few stations. You should actually have good results with that, honestly. And I'm pretty sure you'll have some interesting stuff there, for sure. Keegan says that in the WWV Wikipedia page, in 1926, WWV was nearly shut down. The signal could only cover the eastern half of the United States and other locations located in Minneapolis. Well, yeah, it shows your local time. Absolutely. So you have to convert it. Absolutely. Well, somebody could do a clock that had settings where you can choose a GPS clock time and adjust that to UTC, for example. Keith Logan, nice to have you here. Keegan says, so it continues at Stanford University and Massachusetts Institute of Technology. We're slowly making WWV redundant. Station's impending shutdown was announced in 26, but it was saved by a flood of protests from citizens who relied on the service. You know, not everybody had a clock back then. BPM disappeared on 5,000 for 20 minutes. Okay. Interesting. What else do we have? What else do we have? We'll keep that NOAA stuff and that VHF, UHF stuff for when we do our VHF show next Saturday, on Saturday, September 22nd. So I'm out of beer. What do I have to do, guys? What am I going to do? I will go get another beer. We'll leave you guys with that pirate station a little bit, in case you guys heard it. So 6952 upper sideband, and we'll get more beer as we continue this shortwave live show from Montreal, Quebec, Canada. I hope the background looks good. Yeah, not bad. As the sun is setting more like over here. I would not be able to do this show like in July, for example, because the sun would be like straight there at this time, shining through. But now, because we're at the equinox, the sun is setting in the west, so it's almost always blocked by the trees and the house. So I can at least do it here a little bit. And it's already very low behind me, behind that house. So it's kind of cool. For the camera, it works. So you're watching the Shortwave live show. We're coming from Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Hope you guys are enjoying what we're doing here. Hope you guys are having fun. And of course, we are here every Fridays, 2000 hours Universal Time. And hey, if you guys enjoy what I do, think about me. You can help me out with you know, a donation on PayPal at paypal.me/shortwave, or on PayPal at the Yahoo email you see here. So don't hesitate to give me a little something, and it's always nice to have everybody on board. Oh, 3958 net. We'll try it out, Bill, as I come back from the filling up my beer. So 2 minutes, guys. Filling up my beer and coming back. It won't be long. So this is the pirate station.
You know what? You know which artist I like a lot? What the bad boy is? I think that's Chris Brown. The fuck sexy. And Chris. Oh. I should send this to him. Actually, guys, I should send this to Chris Brown. What do you think about it? Do you think that he would answer me? Oh my god, Chris Brown would beat your ass though. I know. Oh my god. Honestly, abuser, no. And the kids, fuck that. I know what has to be.
And we are back.
But he's so sexy, I found his phone and everything. But I know, you know, actually, he went home to.
I haven't got the crocodile clips. Doesn't matter. It still works well. I'm still receiving tons of signals. We're going to do another ETM scan on the GP5. Can I pick up 5442? What's on 5442? I'm hearing nothing on 5442. Let me just check if I can hear. I can hear. I can hear 5450, the Royal Air Force vomit in UK. Not very strong, but it's there. Let's try. So let's try the 3958 net. See if I can hear something. 3958. Whoops. 3958. Lower sideband. We'll see if we can hear anything. Checking it out. And let me just take my phone. I left my phone somewhere here. So sorry guys, my phone is somewhere, but I don't know where. I just wanted to check out something. I am back, guys. Sorry. And I am hearing the net on 3950, and not very strong though. And somebody's like peeping. So I just wanted, because some people send me sometimes some stuff. So Windows Insiders have a fast build. Okay. So there's an idiot keying. There's always these idiots on the amateur band sometimes on nets, eh? Look at that. That is intentional interference. I'm sorry, you know, some idiot. So I hear the net bill, 3958. There's a Kilo Echo 2, I think, station that just joined in. So I'm hearing it. Carl Matthews, nice to have you here. Cheers. This is a 1837 beer. This one's stronger, 8.5%. So I'm steadily going up. Ray says, I can't believe it's mid-September already. Really starting to see the effects in night propagation. Absolutely. I'm seeing a lot of the effects on the shortwave bands lately. Really, really amazing. What else do we have? Yeah, we're losing morning daylight. Yeah, here too. You know what? I have the habit of maybe once every 2 weeks I go to this bar that the bars close at 3 a.m. here in Montreal, and I go to a bar regularly on Tuesday nights. I meet some friends, and I'm working on a project, and I meet some friends so that are in this project with me, and we go to this bar, and of course we usually go up to 3 a.m. when it shuts down. And here in Montreal here's a cat. Mr. Paul is back. Mr. Paul is back. Hello there, Mr. Cat. How are you? How are you? So he's back from his little stroll to the neighbors' yards. So in early July at 3 a.m. when you come back from a bar at 3 a.m. you already start seeing the daylight coming through because the sun is rising very early. But now it's pitch dark at 3 a.m. You see that things are changing. So we are past the 2 hours and a half. Yes, absolutely. Hope you guys are enjoying the show. Try 1.8 and 2 megahertz. Nothing here. It's still too light. Too much light outside. I don't think I'll hear anything on 1.8 or 2 megahertz, Dr. Sisop. Robert Prosper was in Albany a few weeks ago. State education building is pretty impressive. Gander Volumet on 6604, 6604. Checking that out. Maybe it's already... Yeah, not hearing it. Let's go back to 6592. Pirate on 6592, still there. Some music. So, Richard... Doesn't Canada have time radio stations? Yes, Robert, we have CHU on 3330. Let's try it out. 3330. It's weak, but it's there. 7850. Not hearing it. And 14670. That I never hear. 3330 is almost 24 hours here in Montreal, but 7850 is from time to time. But yes, we do have CHU. Absolutely. Ray says, I'm in Johnson City, Illinois, population 3,500. I live outside of town in the country on the 30 acres of land. Wow, that must be great for putting up antennas. Yes, CHU is even bilingual. Absolutely. It's French and English. Bobby Burgess, is it safe to have the telescopic antenna outside on a rainy day, but not on a stormy day? Yep. Absolutely no problem there. Robert says, I must have the worst reception of anyone here. Yeah. You know, I don't have that great a reception, but honestly, many times that I've done some tests with a lot of people, I seem to, even though I have noise, to be not that bad, honestly. Hey, let's do another ETM scan. How about it, guys? I'm still getting WWV. Talking of time signal stations. And it will be 22:36 UTC.
At the show, 22 hours, 36 minutes. Coordinated universal time.
WWV. So let's do an ETM scan. Here we go. So I'm doing my ETM scan. We'll check out what else we can hear right now. Pretty cool. What else do we have? What else do we have? Yeah, UTC, you know, we could just adjust the clocks and the time accordingly, you know. So Ray says, I hate DST dark at 4:30 p.m. in December. And here's Mr. Paul. Can I come over? I know it's a little, let me just try to put myself in a better situation. You want to come over? He just ate, and he's looking at me saying, hey, human, I want to have more food. Nope, he's not. He's going to go on the chair in the back here. I'm sure he wants to go on the chair with the cushion. I like the daylight standard time for one thing, and it's the fact that in summer the sun sets at 9 p.m. in Montreal, and I love that. I love the fact that the sun sets so late. If we would stay on standard time, it means that the sun would now set at 8 p.m. on summer nights. So you know, it's if we would choose a standard, I'd like stay on DST. But the problem with that is it means also that in the morning in December, we would probably, you know, have the sun rise at like 9:30 a.m. So everybody would go to work in the dark. Yes, we all need more time. Bullfrog says 15 seconds delay. Yep. I remember reading an article that was saying that when we change our times for DST, there's a higher rate of heart attacks apparently. It seems that it affects our health also. Try WV on 60 kilohertz. Well, I won't hear that. I won't hear 2.5. I won't hear 5. I might hear 10, 15, 20, 25. That's the pretty much. I'm gonna try it. Let's try 25. So I don't think I'll hear it, but you never know. You know, that's the fun of radio. So 25, nothing. And come on. He's looking at me. 20. Nothing. 15. Here it is. Well, I think he wants to, but he's not sure. Here it goes. 10 megahertz. It's coming in. Hey, look at that, guys. There's a visitor. Mr. Paul. Here we go. There goes Mr. Paul. How are you, man? Yes, do not go on there. I don't want that. How are you, man? Huh? Yeah, I love you too. Love you too, man. So look at the camera here. Yeah, look at the guys. Look at that. There we go. Having Paul look at the camera. So with his little medal, and he's got a little pirate necklace. A little pirate cats with a patch. When I saw this, I like, okay, that's for the radio cat. So Mr. Paul says hi to everybody. Hey, yeah, love you. So let's put it back up. Let's put it like this. Here we go. So Paul's saying hi to everybody. NK2 says it's loving the summer, but if they don't get rid of DST, they ought to at least change it back to the way it was, late April to late October, or better yet, yeah, that change was weird though. That change was very, very bizarre when they changed it. I never understood why they changed the dates. Danny, Shortwave Radio DX says our ham from North Carolina on 7162 lower sidebin is 9 good signal with hula hoop. Cool. Yeah, well, I hear more people complaining now. I don't know if it's because of that change, but I hear more people complaining now, yeah. Even its eyes are orange. Everybody's happy to see you, man. You know that? Keegan says I switched from 12 24-hour time mode on my Grundig S450 DLX radio after DST went into effect this year. It's set to UTC. Yeah, I set all my radios to UTC. That radio is on UTC. This radio is on UTC. Every radio I have is on UTC, and I never touch it. It's always UTC. Shitty Pyro 90, nice to have you here. CHU Ottawa 3330, excellent signal on the Ottawa SDR. Yeah, it's next to it. Ottawa is like, I don't know, 10, 15 kilometers away from the antenna of CHU. So hey, everybody's saying hi, Paul. Everybody. What else do we have? What else do we have? Yeah, CHU is in AM mode, by the way. Absolutely. Joe Sombra, I like the ETM function of this NL radio. Please, would you mind try 14888 and 10125? I got strange signals that I don't know if it is a digital mode or cell phone tower interference. 14888. I've got a very weak carrier. 10125. I've got nothing. C. Johnson, our CB frequency, same in Canada and USA. Yep. Nope, I don't want you to go there. You will not step on the computer because you'll stop the stream. And you will not go there because I don't want you to go there. And the funniest thing is on top of my barbecue here, one morning, Paul the cat was waiting outside around 9 a.m. and there was another cat, a black cat. He was on the barbecue here at the top. And Paul was looking at me like, what the hell's that cat doing here? So, yep, CB frequencies are the same in Canada and USA. Absolutely. What else do we have? Shitty Pyro. Alright. 3330 AM mode for CHU. Yeah, 27965 is channel 1, and it goes all the way up to 27405, channel 40. I'm just going to put this here for a second in case he wants to go. And William helps, cheers for DX. No, 27025 is channel 6, C. Johnson. Channel 19 is 27185. Channel 19, 27185. Yep, WWV is also AM. Big mount on 3958. Lots of big mounts on the 80 meter band. Try 27185 here in Montreal. 27185. There you go, man. Take care. Oh, I've got cat hair everywhere. And yes, I'm going to go give you some food. Don't worry about it. You won't die of, not having any food. Okay. Let's check out the ETM scan that I just did. So there's this radio teletype signal on the 4985 coming in. Very weak, but it stopped on radio Vanicube of 5040. That's interesting. WWCR 6115.
No question about this, right? Look it up. Check it out. The Rapture and the Beast, the Leslie Kendall, Kendell. And I want you, we got about 4 minutes from next break, the final segment. I lost my train of thought. You were going to, you were talking about, of course, the end times, and we were talking about during the break about 2018 being a very pivotal year, perhaps, in prophecy. You mind tell us about that real quickly?
7210. China Radio International in Spanish from Albania transmitter site. $7,300 is not very strong. 7,300. Let's check it out. Let's check it out. Very weak. At this time, we're at 2247. So wow, 21. Okay, it's, well, I don't know. Oh, it's 2223. Okay, here I got it. It's China Radio from the Kashi transmitter site. So this signal is from the Kashi transmitter site in China, actually. Wow. So propagation from China to Montreal is kind of there. Kind of there. Greece, 9420.
Many years. Her husband smiled. At last, somebody recognized and understood his problem.
9475, which is I think WTWW. In Lebanon, Tennessee. 9535. Not very strong. This is Radio Vancouver in Spanish. Radio Martin 9565. Radio Cairo with no audio on 9800. Voice of Turkey with its interval signal on 9830. Radio WRMI 9955. I don't hear that one very often. It's not very strong. $10 megahertz, which I guess is WWV. Radio Nacional Amazona from Brazil, 11780. Cuba on 12,000 kilohertz. Something weak on 12050, which I think is WEWN. WWCR with the annoying woman on 13845.
This highest honor
that is very strong.
Comes with responsibility of reading the scriptures and rightly dividing the word to say, wait a minute. The purpose of this.
WWV 15 megahertz. With the time pips. And we're back at 4985 with the radio teletype signal. Kind of nice to do these ETM scans actually outdoors. It's kind of cool. It's very different feel from using all the receivers. It's very, very nice to check that out. So it's nice to have everybody here. Let's just let's put like this a little bit. Here we go. Okay. almost 3 hours an hour. Sorry, guys. Almost 3 hours and still more than 100 people watching. It's kind of cool. You know, there's one thing that I was thinking of, and I think it also is a little bit part of it. Having more down-to-earth receivers that people can relate to. Because a lot of people watching actually have just little portable receivers. A lot of people. And, you know, if I tune around the bands using something that is like a fancy 2000 baht ICOM, well, sometimes people don't relate to that. So it's kind of cool to be able to have people relate to what you're doing. Sorry, somebody is texting me. I am sorry. It should be okay now. So, anyways, you know, it's kind of cool to do these scans here with these receivers. Patrick Shadow, I just joined and I want to know, is it possible to receive Voice of America signals in southeastern United States anymore? In the afternoons, 18 to 20 UT, you should be able, if there's not too much noise where you are, you should be able to hear 15580. That one is a good one. Up here, at least, it's a good one here in Montreal. I was listening to it about an hour before the show started. And so I guess you should receive that, 15580. In the evening, it's a little more difficult, but in the afternoons, try that. Something like 17 to 20 UT, 15580. Ray, AG, what do you use more now? Tabletop, SDR? I tried to make it close, but I think I use SDR just a tad more. It depends on what I want to do. Honestly, I've noticed that when I actually just want to tune quickly, because the SDR requires that you turn on your PC and plug the SDR, and it's I'll tend to use the ICOM, tune it to whatever. If I see something quick, I want to tune the frequency, I'll turn on the ICOM. It's like, you know, just on, just tune, it's there. But if I have more time and want to do some more serious listening, I will tend to use this SDR more because of the visual of the frequencies and the things I'm listening to. The visual is great, and you can actually tune around and see what signals are there. I have a preference for the SDR. So it depends what I do. Quick listening, I want to listen to something now. I want to know if something is now, right now I can hear. So for example, I go on HF Underground. It says A6952. There's this, you know, pirate. I would turn on the ICOM, 6952. Easy to punch, easy to do. 3 seconds, it's there. And that would be my listening. But if I am sitting down and I want to listen to, I will tend to use the SDR. And when I'm here on the balcony, of course I could use the SDR with a laptop, but most of the time I will use a portable receiver on when I'm outdoors. T. Richard Owen, nice to have you here. Just tuned in from the UK. What is the shortwave radio you are using and the type of antenna that is connected to it? Okay, I've got 3 radios here right now. The one that I have here that I've been doing a ETM scan, which is easy tuning mode to find station, is a Countycom GP5 SSB. It is also known as the Texan PL365. All I use is telescopic. I sometimes will help myself because I have my sloper here. The wire here is my sloper antenna coming from the backyard. I will use, sometimes I will like put the antenna close to it because it does increase a little bit the signals that I receive. But most of what I've done right now is pretty much just using the telescopic with the radio. And you know, you can see tonight that just using telescopic, it's pretty surprising what I can be hearing. I don't necessarily have to, you know, have fancy radios to listen to. Here I've got an ICOM ICR20, which is a wideband receiver. It's not the best radio for listening to anything that is shortwave, but it works. Now, the antenna here is a wideband 30 megahertz to 1.3 gigahertz antenna, and the reason why, whoops, it's falling apart right now. The reason why I'm using I have this antenna is because I almost never listen to shortwave on this. I tend to listen pretty much only to the VHF UHF range on this receiver. And finally, I've got the Texan PL680. Sorry, Texan PL680, which is one of my kind of favorite portables. And this is a long wave, medium wave, shortwave radio, portable radio from Texan. It's one of the ones that I like using a lot. And it's just telescopic also, but of course by putting it here, I'm actually putting the antenna close to my sloper to kind of increase the signals a little bit. That's pretty much what I have right now, my friend, and welcome aboard. Richard Cook says 6115 is weak, where he is. Bill K3WDR 3944, 3944. Whoops. There we go. Take care, Richard. Oh, pizza. I want pizza. Take care, Richard.
Very good, KC2YKV.
KC2YKV. So I'm hearing some stuff. Ray Erdink, nice to have you on board from Leeds, UK. Nice to have you here. You hear any truckers on 27185 there? Yeah, from time to time. Not all, you know, there's less activity than there used to be, but from time to time I do hear some truckers, yeah, absolutely. Richard, it's probably WWV I was hearing. There's a bigger chance for me that was WWV. Civic 9475 strong here, not sure what it is. Yeah, it's WTWW from Lebanon, Tennessee, Sid. Bullfrog says, I wonder how many of your neighbors have seen you out there with the camera set up and said, what the heck is this guy doing? Huh, man. I want to have a great picture of that. Look at that. I'll take it with my phone. So, okay. You guys see this part. This is what the other part looks like. I hope I'm gonna try to get DX the cat at the same time. No, let's just put it like this. So that's my viewing, and they see that. So they see that. So this is the part that they actually see, also, which is even more mysterious, guys. So that's what I'm looking at right now. So it gives you guys an idea of these two big spots right there. And so they not only see me talking alone on the balcony, they also see two bright spots. So I don't know, if I'd be looking at somebody doing this, I would think, well, with spots like that, you're probably doing some kind of show, I would guess. And there's the camera there, but they might not understand that that's a camera in the middle part there. So that's pretty much it. Medium wave, trying more stations. We're gonna try it. We'll wait a little bit and we'll try. You know, sun is setting slowly. It's gonna set like in 5-10 minutes. Oh yeah, absolutely, Max. That's strong. You cannot explain the shortwave radio hangout. You gotta watch it and see what it is, and then you got to be interesting in what's being talked about. That's pretty much it, Brett Wing. They're all thinking I'm crazy. Ray says, when I'm not using SDR, I use my Drake R8 and Greenwich Satellite 800. Sometimes I don't want to have the PC on as well. Yeah, same here. I don't always want to have a computer running to listen to the radio. And I will use other receivers when I do that. Dr. Sisop says PL660 much better than 680. I got rid of my 680. Actually, what I read is they're the same, pretty much the same. So I don't know. Maybe yours wasn't right or something. I don't know, because mine is amazingly good, honestly. So you know. Max Headstrong says, you'll be surprised how many people in my area are not prepared for any disaster. And I say that they're pretty ignorant for thinking someone is always going to help them. You know, Danny, Shortwave, we've seen that here when we had the big ice storm in 1998, where people were not prepared at all. People, especially when it's a long time between disasters, you guys will notice that. When there's a long time between disasters, they tend to forget. Plus, there's the young generation growing up that never seen a disaster, so there's this thing that, well, all of this is always going to be here, and we never have bad weather that is going to destroy everything. Until 1998, when we had an ice storm and the power grid went down for weeks. And then you're like, oh, look at that. A disaster can happen. It can come in many forms, and, well, it came in the form of ice everywhere. And really thick ice. It's crazy, and people are not prepared for that. And here I'm going to show you guys what Paul looks like. Because he's there in the chair. He's right there. So he's grooming himself right now. Now he's looking outside. So this is behind my laptop on the chair. Mr. Paul is right there, just looking down right now. So no problem, Ray Herding. Thanks for the nice comments, and always nice to be here. It's always nice to do the live shows and do everything. Pretty cool. I might be talking to Martians. Yes. Oh. This makes me laugh. I don't know why. Who wants to know what shortwave is? I will be the preacher of shortwave. I will. I got something on 1.8 megahertz sounds African. Doubt that you're hearing Africa on 1.8, I can tell you that. Danny Shortwave says, hey, that guy's doing live news from his balcony, and they are probably tuning in the local TV stations to find out. Yeah. Oh, man. Dear Richard Owen, thanks for the explanation. Although I use a Grundy Yard Boy for shortwave, have you connected a long wire to your Texan? Is your reception increased? Yeah, as long as there's no stations that are too strong, because they tend to overload easily. And most portables actually tend to overload easily. I don't think I have ever had a portable radio that does not overload when there are some strong stations. But when there's not too many strong stations, when there's not too many strong stations, it's actually good. It's really interesting to plug it in to the long wire and listen in. Another work week completed, Eric Cottrell. I'm still in my work week. This is my work, so it's technically still my work week, but of course, you know, it's a pleasurable work week and a work moment, probably. Johnny the Extra, hey, how are you, my friend? No problem being late. It's okay. 4725 Air Force, yeah, probably 4724 upper sideband, Casey Red Dragon. It's usually 4724. Eric says, I remember the ice storm. HQ had to turn off their sign. Yeah, Hydro Quebec, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Well, C. Johnson, buy a lottery ticket. Man. You know, William, it's like I just, you know, don't want to go there anymore. When people look at my stuff and say, oh, that's CB radio, you know, you feel like just slapping them, but no, you know. Eric was watching CBC Montreal station via TVRO at the time. Yeah, that was amazing. 11880, strong, some fading at times. Let's check it out. 11880. which is, I believe, Cuba. Yep. It's not very strong here. Yep, when the power is out, it's all about radio, and actually that was the thing here. Amateur radio operators help so much, so much. I am made a chalk. Has the report of the week ever watched your stream? Yes, absolutely. He's even been in the chat room a few times and given me some really, really nice comments about the stream. I made a chalk. Keegan says, I was listening to shortwave broadcast when I had a power outage during Ice Storm 2009 from January 27th to February 2nd. Absolutely. And now you have no more noise. You hear 10 times more shortwave broadcasts. You know? I can tell you that. Yeah, getting dark here. Absolutely. Brad Wayne says, but you can drink on the job. Yes, absolutely. Isn't that the best job in the world? Not only are you working, but you can actually have beer while working. I guess I would not exchange this for anything in the world. Cheers, everyone. Yeah, it's less bright. You can actually now see the bluish of the sky up here. Kind of nice. And if I had no lights, it'd be dark. Actually, the camera would probably adjust to it, but I don't know. I'm probably now sending out hundreds of watts of power of light to the. You guys don't see this, but there's the neighbor that's in the back on the other side there. I don't know how powerful that thing is, but he's got a spot that is, at least 200 watts. I mean, he turns that on, and all of the 3 neighbors here are almost in daylight at midnight. It's totally nuts. And I know he turns it on because of, probably for theft. And we had some problems here with theft. Here, somebody tried to enter through my door right here on my balcony in the back. And that's why we started locking the door of the backyard here, because the neighbor downstairs got stolen. They had robbery. The neighbor on the first floor also. The other neighbor over there, I'm lucky enough, never happened, except that they tried to enter through the window here. But it's I think he leaves that on. But the problem is, it's okay. I understand why you leave it on. But when you want to be like in a peaceful mode at 11 at night on your balcony in the backyard, just watching the stars or something, and you've got like 300 watts of power in your face, you're just like, okay, I'm gonna go back inside and watch TV or something. But I understand the why. So hey, F. Lassie, nice to have you here. No worries about being late, It's okay. RWM strong on 4996. Let's try it, RWM here. Let's 9996. And let's put it in sideband. No, 4996. What do you hear right now, Richard? Do you hear a constant carrier? I hear a constant carrier, but I don't know if that's the RWM. 4625. If I would hear the buzzer on this portable receiver, it would be the first time in life that I would hear the buzzer on a portable radio. Casey Red Dragon says buzzer coming in today. David Arden says still sunny here in Georgia. Bobby says you should try putting a telescopic antenna by the window or put it by where the fan is at or in the middle of the AC. Well, if it has a magnetic base, you have to put it on the AC. on the metal part of the AC, because if it has a metal base, a vertical antenna that has a metal base, a magnetic metal base like my vertical I got here, made for a car, what happens is that it requires to have a certain amount of metal under it to kind of make it, you know, to reach its state of work. Yes, WBCQ posted some pictures on the new antennas in the 500 kilowatt transmitter. Keegan, sunny in Arkansas, yeah, absolutely. David Arden, raining and south in North Carolina, yeah. That thing is like steady over there right now. Yep, absolutely. Shortwave radio is a great thing. Having a radio anyways, and also there's so many people that don't even have a radio in their homes. It's crazy. Richard Cook's receiving Radio Rebelde 5025. Keegan says 12,000 is strong, fading at times. Okay, it's pips, so wasn't that. Yeah, 4625 and telescopic would be cool, but it's not. I'm not receiving it. I am not receiving it. Okay, let's check it out here. So I'm just going to post for the last time. If you guys want to help me out, don't forget, you can help out by sending me your donations. PayPal.me/shortwave is a great way. Or you can go to PayPal and send it to the Yahoo email you see here. Always is much appreciated. You can also help me out at Patreon, where they finally gave me my funds from the people that donated at the beginning of this month. And this, where you can set up a monthly donation or whatever, wherever and however you do it. Thanks. And whatever amount, don't worry about it, doesn't matter. What else do we have? 7097 Oliver, or Olivia, you might mean. 7097. I've got nothing here. I've got nothing at all here. 5850, that's WRMI. Yeah, 7780. Oh, that's the screaming preacher. I got scared. Man, that's crazy. Yeah, 5990. China radio. Weak audio. That's from Cuba. Hey, Log 2112. Nice to have you here. Pretty cool. Keegan has 5025 weak, fading at times. 5025. That's a little noisy, but it's there. Let's check it out if yeah. 6952. 6952. Pirate station still there. Look at that. So that's a guy. I don't know if anybody's ID'd the station. 6952 Upper Sideman, Pirate Station, coming in. Let me check HF Underground here. HF Underground, Shortwave Pirate, 6952, monitored by a lot of people. Yeah, I got it here. She's blabbing about boys, bad boys. Yeah, a lot of people are actually This is interesting. Now it's a guy that's fussing, absolutely. Sorry guys. So this is interesting because nobody has an idea of what it is. Nobody has an idea of what that is. So now there's a guy fussing. It was a girl earlier. Now it's a guy. 6952 upper sideband coming in. And no idea. Nobody knows what that is on the shortwave blogs. Kind of interesting. Kind of interesting. Hey, Jerry DX. Now there's some music. So 6952 upper sideband. 9955 coming in. In case Red Dragon. Keegan has 5000 WWV. Howard Parker says, I thought the UK was bad. David Arden says, I'm not Catholic, but I like WE and WN's approach. I have heard some of their programs, and they have a much nicer approach to religion. Yeah, it's more like a living life type of thing. Catholic, I'm born Catholic. Not by choice, but because they forced me. That's how I always like to say. Yeah, society forced me to be a Catholic. And, you know, it's kind of an approach of being a good person and going to church. And, you know, I don't do any of that, but, well, I am a good person. But that it stops there, I guess. What else do we have? What else do we have? Could be a pirate, Dr. Sisap, never know. Absolutely. Yeah, that is the biggest problem with 6952. Single sideband is not great unless you're exactly on the frequency for music. And with a portable, it's a little difficult. You got to try to, you know, beat in on the voice as much as you can, and to have it working. Howard Parker says, we are the last generation almost to use real radios. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Will we? Yeah, Jerry DX says that 6952 is S3 over there. Must be close to me. I've seen that most of the reports seem to be from the Northeast. So I guess, yeah, probably northeast of the United States, I guess. For that pirate station. Pretty much. And kind of nice. Okay, so let's check that out here. Everything's okay. I don't check the emails much. Just gonna check it out. Make sure that everything is alright. Nobody is saying hi from another part of where I'm not looking. So hope you guys are enjoying the show. And airplane just in the background. Yeah, we got tons of them here. And do you hear the crickets? Just out of curiosity. Do you guys hear the crickets? Or they're too weak to make the microphone? Because now we got crickets and of course an airplane. Ray says radio 1010 or 6070, nice and clear. Let's check it out. 6070. Yeah, here it on 6070. Let's try 1010. Well, let's go to medium wave. I got too much interference. I'm not hearing 1010. But I'm hearing 6070. CFRX 6070 is coming in. Absolutely. What else do we have? Richard says, yes, we hear them. Okay, wow, it's sensitive at that point. Amazing. Crickets coming in. MDK2 says, real radio isn't going away any more than vinyl records did, and for same reason. Purported replacement have drawbacks that radio does not, but it always gets its back against the wall. Yeah, that's what I think also. I can hear the crickets. Interesting hearing the crickets in the background. And now we'll listen to the soothing sounds of crickets and try not to fall asleep. Log 21.2 got strong Stanag, 4285. Yeah, 4285. That's very strong. We hear the crickets. Where's Buddy Holly? Oh, man. Oh, interesting. My phone can pick up the crickets, but my computer isn't. Depends on the range. The range of frequencies of the speakers. 5.1 stereo gel. Oh my god. We will now broadcast in 4K with 8.1 sound. Oh man. You know what, Bobby? My magnetic vertical is on the metal shed and been there for the past 15 years, so no problem there. Richard says quite possibly 292 is off Germany on 6070. Yeah, here I never hear 292. It's an impossible task. Impossible task. So hey guys, in stereo here too. I want to thank you all for being here. Hope you enjoyed today's show. I'm gonna start like slowly putting things back home. I will be taking it easy for the rest of the evening and installing a new build of Windows 10 that was announced a little earlier. I want to thank everybody for being here. I hope you guys enjoyed today's show on Outside, and it's always nice to be here and do these things. I like the kind of look that it has with the blue sky on the background and everything. It's kind of nice. So, hope you enjoyed today's show. We did, 3 hours and some minutes? 3 hours and 20 minutes. Not too bad for a show. The next show will be next week at Friday next week, September 21st, 2000 hours UTC. And Saturday at 2000 hours UTC, we will have the VHF UHF show, September 22nd. Take care, everybody. Thanks for those that donated during the show. Thanks for everybody. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being great fans. Love you all. Stay safe and take care, my friends. Always fun to have you on board. Hey, Rick Robbins. Take care, my friends. Crickets as we move away from the show. Bye.